fullback, but what they brought together is good quality players. A lot of kids, I'm not just saying that because I'm from Penn State, but a lot of Penn State kids who play well, are outstanding football players, and they have a good chemistry. And they brought in Coach Jim Morrow, who's just done an outstanding job with them, and they play well together. It's not always the best team or the best athletes that wins the championship. It's a team that plays well together. In some way, somehow, Carl Peterson has put together that football team, and the chemistry is there, and it showed it the last 2 years.
There is a lot of conjecture as to just how well the Maulers will play tonight. Obviously, they know they're going nowhere as far as the season is concerned. Only 4 more weeks left in the regular season. And as a result, Ellis Rainsberger said to me he couldn't tell. They were strangely quiet this week, and there's no real indication whether this club has packed it in for the year, whether they might come out with an all-out effort against Philadelphia, Jack.
Well, I don't think they've packed it in for the year for one big reason. They know that Hank Buller is down on the sidelines or up here in the booth watching his football game, and he's watching the players he's going to try to use next year and who he's going to bring in again next year. So I think they realize that they're playing for jobs and a chance to play on this football team again next year, and they're going to go all out, play 100%, because if you don't play hard and play well against the Philadelphia Stars, they'll blow you out of the stadium.
Maulers have won the toss and have elected to receive, so they will begin the game, moving from left to right with the football. David Trout, the former University of Pittsburgh kicker and Pittsburgh Steeler, will place the ball on the kicking tee at the 35-yard line. We also mentioned that Mike Rozier will start in the ball game, and he's got a lot of people here rooting for him because he grew up in Camden, New Jersey, which isn't far from Philadelphia. And so Rozier will be on display, so to speak, tonight.
Well, I think he's looking forward to it, Sam. I think he's got an opportunity to play not only against people from his hometown and watch him play, but also who are watching him on TV on ESPN. So he's looking for a big game and try to play well.
William Miller in the deep receiving spot at the goal line. This Philadelphia team has an outstanding special teams play. Last week against Michigan, 3 kickoffs that were returned, never got out past the 15-yard line. William Miller downs this one in the end zone. It'll be a touchback, so the Maulers already begin in better field position than did Michigan last week in 3 of the kicks that they had to return. And he wisely downed the ball for a touchback, and so Pittsburgh will start its offense at the 20-yard line, and they will begin with Tom Rosance at quarterback, and Ira Albright will be the blocking back along with Mike Rozier.
And Sam, the Philadelphia defense, I'm talking to some of the coaches before the game, they're going to give Tom Rosance a lot of different looks, disguise coverages, make one coverage look like something else, try to confuse him. He doesn't have the experience of playing back at quarterback.
Well, they got Walter Holman in to start the game now with Rozier in the backfield from the 20-yard line. Jackie Flowers slotted to the left, and Greg Anderson, the wide receiver, to the left. Flowers in motion toward us, and Rosance on a delay gives to Rozier. He's trapped in the backfield, trying to find running room, and they got him at the 18-yard line. Antonio Gibson, the second-year strong safety out of Cincinnati, is the man who made the tackle. By the way, our big play sweepstakes contestant this quarter is Mary Pratt-Canis of Vandergrift, Pennsylvania. If the Maulers score a touchdown on a play of 40 yards or more, offensively or defensively, then Mary will win a $50 gift certificate redeemable at Foodland. Plus, you'll also be entered in the grand prize drawing and win a pair of tickets to the Maulers' next home game, compliments of WAMO-FM. So it's second down and about 12 as Mike Rozier on his first carry loses about 1.5 yards. Play action pass for Rosance. Stays in the pocket, almost intercepted. It was broken up by the linebacker, Sam Mills, and he almost had interception, Jack.
And Sam, looking at the first 2 plays, if anybody thought the Philadelphia Stars were going to take the Maulers lightly, a team at 3-11, on those first 2 plays, they gang tackled Mike Rozier on the first play, a sweep to the right side. This time, going after the football and stripping it with Sam Mills. That defense is fired up, and I think they want to make sure they don't give up more than 11-point average that they've given up.
So it's third down now and about 12. And Johnny Durden in the lineup. He is split wide to the left. Jackie Flowers to the right, and now Greg Anderson is slotted to the left. And the lone setback is Mike Rozier, and Tom Rosance, the quarterback. He's back to pass, now having to roll out to his right. Some pressure on, throws the ball downfield, and it's caught at the 28-yard line. But it's shy of the first down. The catch made by Greg Anderson, and he was tackled immediately. So it's shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down for the Maulers. They'll have to punt the ball away.
And that time, George Cooper, the right outside linebacker, on its zone defense that the Stars played so well, came up and really stopped Greg Anderson about 2 yards short of the first down and gave him a tremendous hit right at the 28-yard line.
Larry Swider is back at his own 12-yard line. He is punting the ball to Garcia Lane, and Swider gets off an excellent high punt. Lane backing up to the 20-yard line. He avoids one tackle, now trying to break away, and they get him at the 22 and bring him down. Good special teams play, and let me see if I can identify the first man downfield. It was Johnny Durden. And Durden is a man who eventually made the stop, a 50-yard punt and a 3-yard return as Lane got away momentarily, but he just could not shake free.
And Johnny Durden did an excellent job. He's the wide person on the punt coverage team. He did a good job of getting away from the defensive back, getting down there on Garcia Lane. Excellent punt by Larry Swider. We've got him pinned back on our 23-yard line.
So here they come. Philadelphia on offense for the first time today. Kelvin Bryant in the backfield with David Riley. They run from the pro set, and Fusina on first down is back to pass. Sets up a screen to Riley in the flat. To the 20, the 25, and falls forward to the 30-yard line. Doug Holly made the tackle, but a quick pickup of 7 or 8 yards. A little screen to the fullback, David Riley, another former Pittsburgh Steeler. I think there are 6 players on this team that went to camp with the Steelers at one time or another, Jack, and all were cut, obviously.
And that time, David Riley, who did not play in the first game against the Maulers in Pittsburgh, and talking to the Philadelphia coaches, done an outstanding job of blocking for Kelvin Bryant, took that screen, and did a good job of getting upfield for 8 yards.
It is 2nd down and 2 now for Philadelphia. We'll set their offensive line. Mike McKibben not available to the Maulers. Mark Rao not available today. Here's Bryant's first carry. Spins away from one tackler and didn't get much. He did not get much at all as he got across the 30-yard line, but he will be shy of a first down. Sam Clancy made the initial contact, and Ron Crosby made the tackle secure. So it'll be 3rd down now for Philadelphia.
And that was excellent defense by the Maulers. It was a quick trap trying to go inside with Kelvin Bryant. He broke it to the outside. Ron Crosby and Sam Clancy stayed at home, did their job. Good disciplined defense, but he got the first down.
Nope. I guess they did. He got enough penetration. I thought he had got stopped shy of the line of scrimmage, but they give him enough yardage for the first down. So Philadelphia now running the ball from its own 33-yard line, and Clancy is out of the lineup. Ike Griffin is in. Sam Clancy nursing a bruised shin for a number of weeks now, and here's an inside handoff to Bryant. They got him trapped. He got away for a couple of yards over the 35 to about the 36-yard line. Ernest Adams there to make the stop. But even when it seems like you've got Bryant trapped, Jack, he gets away for 3 or 4.
He does a good job of reading his blocks. That time the play was designed to go to his left side, our defensive right. He saw it was clogged up. He turned back against the grain and got 3 or 4 yards where really he should have been stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Philadelphia does not spend much time in the huddle at all. Fusina has him out and set to go with 15 seconds to go on the 30-second clock. They've got Collier wide to the left and Scott Fitzke to the right. Play action pass. Fusina wants to throw the ball. He's chased by Griffin, delivers the ball to the 40-yard line, a completed pass, and that'll be 3 yards shy of the first down. The pass was complete to Kelvin Bryant, and the tackle made right there at the 40-yard line, so it'll be a 3rd down situation. Mark Harper had the coverage.
And that time Fusina wanted to go upfield. Ike Griffin was putting some pressure on from that left end position, put some pressure on Fusina. He dumped it off to Bryant. That's another example of Chuck Fusina not throwing the ball up for grabs, dumping it right off to Bryant for a couple of yards.
So Fusina brings him out again in 3rd down situation. Fitzke goes wide to the right. And this time they slot Collier. And they bring on Tom Donovan as a 3rd wide receiver and 1 setback Kelvin Bryant. Fusina, quick pop over the middle, complete for the first down across the 45. And it's caught by Herbert Harris, first-year receiver out of Lamar, and that's just enough for a Philadelphia first down as they cross the 45-yard line. And so Philadelphia with that very controlled offense, the Joe Pendry offense. Of course, he was the offensive coordinator here last year.
And that time, Troy Hill had the coverage. He comes in the game on 3rd down situation. What Troy's got to do, he's got to settle, not give ground against the receiver, not let him catch the football. You got to drive to the receiver and break it up. That time, you let him catch it and get the first down.
This is a very big offensive line Philadelphia has. Here's Fusina on first down. Play action pass again, looking over the middle, throws the pass. It's caught. First down into Pittsburgh territory, and the catch is made by Willie Collier, the former Pitt star. And Mark Harper again made the stop, but that's another Philadelphia first down as they reach the Pittsburgh 43-yard line. And Fusina now going on the quick pops.
And he's got so many different weapons, Sam. He can do so many different things. Run the football on first down, play action, drop back. He can roll out. Right now, our defense really does not know what he's going to do. They're playing a little bit soft right now, not rushing the passer very effectively, and he's really got their offense under control.
Philadelphia has had some difficulty with the weak sisters in the league this year, but they've had no difficulty with the quality teams. They blew out Birmingham. They blew out New Orleans. They blew out Tampa Bay. Here's David Riley for a yard, maybe 2 yards. Maybe 3 as he reaches a 40, and he's stacked up there by middle linebacker Ernest Adams and also Ron Freeman. Let's give him a gain of just 2 yards on the carry. 2nd down and 8. But they rise to the occasion, Jack, when they play the real good teams in the league.
When they're playing the quality teams like the Birminghams and Michigan and so forth, they play very well. But what they do against the weaker teams in the league, they play good enough to win. And people say, well, they're a little bit lucky, but they make the plays in the 4th quarter, maybe special teams, a big play by Fusina. Somehow, some way they win. That's why they're 13-1.
Collier is wide to the left, and Fitzke, who had that big day at Pittsburgh, is to the right. Fusina on a delay. Alan Harvin, first down, very close to it. I believe he's got it right at the 32-yard line. A little delay to the scat back, Alan Harvin, a second-year running back out of Cincinnati, and Jesse Johnson had to make the stop, but he is very close. He got another Philadelphia first down.
And that time, they wondered whether he was going to run the football on first down, play action pass. That time, a draw. Our defensive linemen are up the field rushing. That's the reason why there was a big seam inside. Another first down for the Stars, and they're just moving the football at will right now on our Mauler defense.
Stars are 17-point favorites in this ball game tonight at the Vet in Philly. And it's interesting to note that only once, despite their very poor season, only once have the Maulers lost by 17 or more, and that was to Houston when they lost by 21. But Philadelphia favored here by 17. Fusina to pass. Has all day. Now they got some pressure. Fusina running for his life. 35, 30, 25, and out of bounds. Calvin Bryant leading the way, delivered a crunching block on Ike Griffin. And Fusina
downfield trying to get to Fusina. When he turned a corner, took a vicious hit by one of the offensive linemen of the Stars, and I'm surprised.
6-yard line of Pittsburgh. Chuck Fusina gives to Bryant, nothing, maybe a yard as he dives to the 25. So Archie Reese spearheading this drive along with Sam Clancy and David Graham. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 now, and the Maulers in a very big situation here. Philadelphia, as they do so often, has taken their first possession and driven it right down the throats of the Maulers. We have under 6.5 minutes to play first quarter, no score, and the Maulers would love to force them to settle for 3, Jack.
Sam, there's no question about it. We'd like them to hold them right now on 3rd down, force them in that field goal position. I think it would be a moral victory for the Maulers, and this is a key play right now on 3rd down.
Rodenberger is the wing to the right. They've got their power formation, and they give it to Bryant, and there's a whistle. And the play stopped just as Bryant got the football. And there's still time left on the 30-second clock. Maybe illegal procedure against Philly. It is indeed.
The offense. 3rd down.
Our referee tonight, by the way, is Bill Parkinson, David Foley, Hayden Terry, Lawrence Hill, Don Gassaway, Grover Clemmer, and Wesley Ward, the rest of the crew. Those are the easiest names of any crew we've had this year.
And so far, no flags out here, except for this is the first one on an illegal procedure. I think one of the offensive linemen moved by the Stars, and they don't make many mistakes on 3rd down and 4. Now it's obviously a passing. It's a passing situation. They got their wide receivers in the game, and 3rd and 8, and I think our Mauler defense might rise to the occasion right here.
Troy Thomas now on the defensive line. They got 4 down linemen. 2 linebackers in the nickel back. It is 3rd down and 8 for Fusina from the 30. Chuck is back to pass. All day has a man wide open at the 15-yard line. It's 1st down. And the catch is made by old reliable Scott Fitzke, who burned the Maulers back in Pittsburgh with 8 catches for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's just a tough man to hang on to. And Mark Harper had the single coverage.
Mark Harper had the coverage with a crossing pattern by Fitzke across the middle. But really, our defensive lineman, without Sam Clancy, did not get off the line of scrimmage. That offensive line held them out. Fusina had all day to throw. There wasn't a Mauler within 4 or 5 yards of him.
17 yards on the pass. It is 1st down Philadelphia at the Maulers' 13-yard line. Fitzke is now slotted to the left, and he goes in motion to the right. Now turns and comes. No, he did a jitterbug and continues the other way. And here's a pitch to Calvin Bryant. They're trying to string him out inside the 15 and out of bounds at the 11. And a penalty flag is down. And Mark Harper with a big hit on the other sideline. And a holding call, I believe, against Philadelphia. will set them back 10 yards.
The referee threw the flag probably at the tight end, and we'll have to wait for the call. But Mark Harper, coming from the left corner position, did a good job at containing Calvin Bryant, upending him, and probably with maybe only a 3 or 4 yard gain. This penalty is really going to help the Maulers and probably throw them in an obvious passing situation.
Bill Parkinson now placing the ball at the 24-yard
Number
line.
89 on the offense. First down.
So the call indeed is against the tight end Steve Folsom. And it is now first down and 20 for Philadelphia, and they are just inside their own 24-yard line. Let's call it at 24 and keep it even. And they give to Bryant again. Same play. Cuts it up at the 20 to the 18. Still on his feet. Squirming for additional yardage to about the 17. So a good call on first down as they stay on the ground and get 7 of the 10 yards back. Doug Holly made the stop, the rookie out of SMU. And Ike Griffin.
And no matter what points the Stars get out of it, if the Maulers stop them from getting a touchdown and force them in a field goal situation, it's really going to take its toll on that Mauler defense. They're really going to wear them down in the third and fourth quarter. You're not going to see our Mauler defense playing as well or giving up yards as grudgingly as it is right now.
Clancy's got his helmet off on the sideline, Jack. That is bad news. He's just standing there and does not look like he's ready to return. Second down, Fusina to pass. Now they got some pressure on him. He's running around back at the 30-yard line. Throws the ball, complete at the 20 to the 15 and out of bounds. It was caught by Tom Donovan, another former Penn Stater, and he was run out of bounds at the 15-yard line by Jerry Holmes. And it's very difficult to follow these very quick receivers of Philadelphia when Fusina's got time and he can scramble.
And he does a good job of not running with the football all the time, but just getting away from pressure, getting outside the containment, giving his receivers time to go downfield and get open. Our defensive secondary, which has done a pretty good job. Jerry Holmes, who made the tackle on the other side of the field, he is our right cornerback. He followed the receiver all the way across the field. You cannot expect our secondary to hold up that long.
It is third down and 12, so the Maulers have Philadelphia in their toughest position of the night thus far, needing a very big play, and Fusina doesn't like what he sees and calls a timeout. So with 4:37 to play here in the first quarter, there's a stoppage of play. We'll take a break and return to the vet in Philadelphia right after this. On this drive, Fusina is 6 out of 6 for 49 yards. He is the leading passer in rating in the Eastern Conference of the USFL with a rating of 107.8. I think, Jack, the only passer in the USFL with a better record is or rating rather is Jim Kelly out of Houston, and they just fire the ball all over the place. But Fusina has completed 65% of his passes, 28 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions. What a remarkable ratio that is.
And there's no question about it. He'll be the first guy to tell you it's his offensive line, which has given him great protection this entire drive all the way from the 23-yard line. Our defensive linemen have a tough time getting to him. We've got to get to him if we're going to be effective rushing the passer.
It is third down and about 14. The ball at the 17-yard line. Fusina back to pass. The Maulers with just a 4-man rush. He throws it down the sideline, and Fitzke couldn't hold it right at the flag. Mark Harper was there, and there were a couple of people in the area. So was David Riley. And I wonder if somebody ran a wrong pattern. Fusina got it onto Fitzke's hands, but he couldn't hang on, so it's fourth down. And the Maulers now feel fortunate that they've held Philadelphia from a touchdown. And now the best thing that could happen was somehow to either block David Trout's attempt at a field goal here or have it go awry. Trout is 19 out of 29 this year. He has been exceptional from close in. This will be an attempt of 34 yards. And from this area, he is 5 out of 7. Here's the placement. The kick by Trout is up, and it is good. So with 4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter, the Philadelphia Stars have drawn first blood. It is Philadelphia 3 and the Maulers nothing. We'll be back with Philly's kickoff right after this. Is that he has injured his ankle or re-injured it, and it's giving him some trouble in this football game. He may or may not return to the lineup, but as I indicated, he was standing rather dejectedly along the sideline after playing about 5 plays in that series and had to come out. Johnny Durden, William Miller, Mickey Sutton in the deep receiving positions. Here's a squib kick by Trout. It's fielded up, gets by Miller, and goes out of the field of play. So Trout hit a line drive this time after driving one high in the air the first time. And it's the same result. A touchback, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. And that's where the Maulers will put it in play. So Philadelphia drives the ball downfield and has to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure they're not particularly happy about that, Jack.
There's no question about it, but I think they feel their defense will get the ball right back for them. That defense is so fortunate with David Trott. That time he was very fortunate to get the ball in the end zone, but they start at the 20-yard line all the time, and any team that drives 80 yards and scores a touchdown against the Stars have got to put together a lot of good plays. Most teams throughout the year have not been able to do it.
One thing, of course, the Maulers can ill afford to do in this ball game tonight is go 3 downs and punt and do it with any kind of consistency. They've got to keep the football. If they give Philadelphia enough chances, obviously Philadelphia can run the score up in this game and run it up very quickly. I would remind you that the last time they met, Philadelphia led only 6-3 at the half, and the Maulers were hanging tough even though Philadelphia had outplayed them in the first half. And the fact of the matter is Philadelphia won the game on the passing combination of Fusina and Fitzke. But as you remember, Jack, Billy Yancey, who is no longer with the Maulers team, had some excellent coverage on 2 of the 3 catches by Fitzke for touchdowns.
The 2 of the catches looked like one of them looked like Fitzke might have been out of bounds. It was a very close call. And the other touchdown was really a busted play. Fusina rolling out of the pocket, got away from our rush, and we had a breakdown in the secondary, and Scott Fitzke was open down at the goal line by about 20 yards. So I think right now our secondary is playing a lot better in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Sutton and Harper have done an excellent job, and I think we'll play a lot better in the passing game. I'm wondering whether we'll be able to hold up against the running game.
There are 8 changes because of injury from this Mauler team that lost to Philadelphia back on March 24th. And 8 out of your starting lineup is what I'm talking about, and that is significant. And they are going to miss, certainly, for as long as they are gone, the likes of Mike McKibben and Mark Rao, both of whom have played very well for the ball club this year. So the Maulers now will try to operate from their own 20-yard line, trailing the Stars 3-0. They send Anderson wide to the left and Jackie Flowers to the right. And, of course, since Rosance has been in there, the Maulers not throwing nearly as often as they threw earlier in the year with Carano. Flowers and Anderson have not been nearly the kind of potent weapons that they had been earlier. Rozier burrows his way into the line for about 3 or 4 yards, and he stopped at about the 24-yard line. Let's give Mike a pickup of about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Tackle made by John Bunting, the 13-year veteran out of North Carolina.
And that time Mike Rozier just found a hole. I don't even know where he found it, but that defensive line from the Stars really came off the football. We didn't get that much movement, but Rozier found the hole, got 4 or 5 yards, a good play on 1st down.
Scott Burris is the center. Don Corbin and Donnie Hickman are at the guards. Dubiago and Don Maggs are the tackles. At tight end is Kimichik. Play action. Rosance rolling to his right, delivers the ball complete to Holman, 35 and out of bounds. Very nice rollout as Holman took a blocker, or rather Rosance took a blocker out with him. He's rolled out to the right, and he waited till Walter Holman cleared and got the 1st down as he completed the pass up around the 35-yard line.
And that time I think we really fooled the Star defense. Holman, we looked like out of the I formation, was going to block for Rozier. Play action pass. Rosance came out with a good fake to Rozier and came out, delivered the football to Walter Holman. A little bit behind him. Holman made the catch, and a big 1st down for the Maulers.
They placed the ball right at the 36-yard line. I formation, Rozier the deep back, and Ira Albright the up back. And boy, Albright gets somebody on every play. Here's Flowers in motion to the near side. Behind Albright, Rozier running, dives forward for about 2 or 3 yards. Albright got pinned up at the line of scrimmage. He made his block, and he hit somebody very hard. It may have been Bunting right at the line of scrimmage, but Philadelphia pursues so well that Rozier had to crawl for a couple of yards.
And that time Bunting, a smart, crafty old linebacker, went down low on Ira Albright. He didn't want to try to take him on high. He took him down low around his ankles and made Rozier cut to the outside, and that's where the swarming Star defense came and made the play.
Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The Maulers trying to move the football now from their own 39-yard line. They've got some room with which to operate. Anderson wide to the left and Flowers to the right. In the I formation again, Rozier and Albright. 2nd back through is Rozier to the 40, falls forward to about the 43-yard line. It was a quick opener, and the hole was there momentarily, but it was closed equally fast by Glenn Howard, 2nd-year linebacker from Minnesota. So it'll be 3rd down and about 2.5.
And for the 2nd time on a running play inside, Mike Rozier did a good job. The defensive line really came off the ball, over pursued a little bit. Mike Rozier picking inside, got about 3 or 4 yards, now 3rd down and 3.
Kimichik comes out on 3rd down. Dubiago moves to tight end. And the Maulers shifting their offensive line around now. Have Joe Lukens in there and move Hickman over to tackle now. Somebody had to call a timeout. Sam Mills trots over to talk to Jim Mora. on the Philadelphia sideline. I don't know who that timeout is credited to. Rosance comes to our side.
I think it's credited to the Stars. I think they were a little bit, Sam Mills was a little bit confused about the alignment with Dubiaga going to tight end. He wasn't sure about the formation, and he very smartly called a timeout.
So while there's a timeout on the field with Philadelphia leading 3-0, we'll break for this. I mentioned that Sam Mills, the inside linebacker, called that timeout. I remember him from the last game, Jack. What an inspirational football player. 5'9", 225, a second-year linebacker out of Montclair State. And he plays the inside linebacking position. He leads his team in tackles.
There's no question. He's a big play guy for them. Makes interceptions. He makes a lot of tackles from that inside linebacker position. Not the prototype linebacker of a Jack Lambert type for the middle, but does the job and gets it done.
Here's a big play for the Maulers early on in this football game. 3rd down and 3 from their own 43-yard line. From the pro set backfield with Holman and Rozier. And Rozier goes in motion. Off to the left. And they give us to Holman. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. And a flag is down. Well, Mike might have moved downfield a little prematurely. He went out in motion, and he may have cut upfield. But that play didn't fool anybody as they stacked up the ball carrier Holman. George Cooper, second-year linebacker, Michigan State, made the tackle for no gain.
George Cooper's having an outstanding year. It is a legal procedure. I think Mike did turn upfield a little bit. 3rd down and 4 against that Star defense. It's very, very tough for us to muscle them and you get 4 yards for the first down. I think what we've got to do is open up a little bit on 3rd down and 4. Let Rosance run with the football, maybe a bootleg a little bit, and let him do what he does best. We cannot go physically up against the Stars and expect to win.
Maulers with one of the poorest 3rd down efficiency ratings in the USFL. Going into the game, they converted 1 out of every 3 for 33 1/3%. They are 0 for 2 tonight. Garcia Lane awaiting this punt from Larry Swider. 2:10 to go in the first quarter. Good high spiral, fair catch by Lane at the 18-yard line, and that's where Philadelphia will put the ball in play. So with 2:10 to play in the first quarter and Philadelphia leading by a score of 3-0, we'll break for this. That in Philadelphia, and we do have our old crew together tonight. Tim Pearson keeping stats, Don DeBlasio having made the trip from Pittsburgh with us, doing the spotting, and J.C. Floyd, our ever-trusting producer. From the 18-yard line, Philadelphia leading 3-0 now. We'll go to work with a single setback in Kelvin Bryant. And Fusina turns and gives to Bryant right up the middle, over the 20 to the 23, maybe 24-yard line. Stopped there by Archie Reese at the bottom of the pile and Ron Crosby at the top. Also Ike Griffin. So the Maulers continue to play without Sam Clancy. And what an incredible loss he is, not only to this defensive line, but to any defensive line, the way he has developed this year as a football player.
And you know that ankle's really got to bother him if he's out of the football game. He's such a competitor and wanting to play this evening against the best football team in the league. Just couldn't do it.
2nd down and 4, gain of 6 by Bryant. With a single back again, Bryant through a hole, dances across the 25 to the 28-yard line. And that'll be close to another Philadelphia first down. Jesse Johnson made the stop along with middle linebacker Ernest Adams. Jack, incidentally, speaking of Adams, he goes about his job so unspectacularly and silently. Have you been able to evaluate how he's done since he took over from Bruce Huther?
Well, he's done a pretty good job inside. Really, how well a middle linebacker does in a 4-3 defense is how well the defensive line plays up ahead of you. And most of the time in the first and second quarter, when our defensive line has been fresh, he has done a good job. It's when the team gets tired is when that defensive line gets thrown back in his lap.
3rd down and 1, power formation to the right, and Bryant breaks through a hole over the 30 to the 31 or 32-yard line. He got the first down with plenty to spare. Ron Freeman made the stop. And getting up from the bottom again, Doug Holly and Ernest Adams. So Philadelphia will grind it out on you. And as Jack mentioned during our pregame report, this team at one point in the season, you didn't mention this fact. I think you mentioned the fact that they were plus 13 in the giveaway takeaway. But you know, at one point in this year, they were minus 9. So they have come on a turn of 22, more acquiring plays from fumbles or interceptions than from having given it up. If you've seen a play action pass, has a man wide open, 50, the 45, the 40, and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Well, that was almost too easy. Kelvin Bryant got out here on the near sideline all alone. Nobody around him. Jerry Holmes finally ran him out.
That time they had man-to-man coverage. Ron Freeman trying to pick up Kelvin Bryant out of the backfield. Wasn't that tough of a route. All he did was he got picked up inside a little bit, and Kelvin Bryant came up and made the play.
But it's also coming back. The Mauler, nope, maybe it isn't coming back. We've come to the end of the first quarter. That's why the Maulers are back down around the 30-yard line. We are done with 1 quarter play, and the Stars lead the Maulers 3-0. We'll return to the vet right after this. To Kelvin Bryant out of the backfield, covers 39 yards and gives Philadelphia first down at the Maulers' 29-yard line. And Jack, as you started to say, it wasn't that difficult to play to cover. Ron Freeman, somehow the linebacker just blew the coverage up there.
Well, he thought the play was going inside to one of the wide receivers. All he has to do is cover Kelvin Bryant. He's just swinging out of the backfield. He really is not the primary receiver. Justina saw that he was so wide open by 5 or 10 yards, delivered the football to him, but Kelvin Bryant is not the primary receiver on that play. The wide receiver is. Ron Freeman just blew the coverage.
Here's the I formation. Alan Harvin is a deep back behind David Riley. Fusina, the quarterback, barks out the signals. First play, second quarter, 3-0 Philadelphia if you just joined us. Play action, Fusina rolls a little bit, now runs it right up the gut. And he slides at the 22-yard line in front of Ernest Adams. Little hook slide there by Chuck Fusina. So he'll pick up about 6 or 7 yards as he couldn't find a receiver open. Good coverage by the Mauler secondary.
The Mauler secondary has done a good job. Just our defensive line cannot get to him. But Chuck Fusina, another reason why he's been probably the outstanding player in the league this year, he makes the right decision. People were covered downfield. He doesn't take the loss. He finds a crack in their defensive line and gets what should have been a loss, maybe 6 or 7 yards.
Well, of course, the Maulers with 33 sacks during the course of the year. But if you take away Sam Clancy's 13, the rest of them have combined for a total of 20. And they just haven't had any pressure today. Here's a give straight ahead to the running back to about the 20-yard line. Then he is a bull to bring down. It took 3 of them, and he never went down. Kelvin Bryant in the grasp of Ron Crosby, the linebacker, Jesse Johnson, Mickey Sutton, and 3 of them had to stop his forward progress right at the 20-yard line.
What the Mauler coaches were telling me before the football game that Kelvin Bryant probably running the best he has in the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's showing it today. He always breaks the initial tackle right at the line of scrimmage, struggling for that extra yard, and that time it took 3 or 4 people to finally stop him down around the 20-yard line.
He needed but 8 yards in this ball game to go over the 1,000-yard mark again this season. Obviously, the 1,000 circle is not so charmed in the USFL because they play 18 games. It is third down at about 1.5 yards. In motion, Rodenberger, and the give the other way. Here's a hold for Bryant, and he got the first down, but just barely. Good defensive play by Crosby and Adams. It looked for a moment like Bryant would get more yardage, but he settled for about a 3-yard gain, and he got the first down to the 18-yard line.
That time Crosby did a good job of staying home on that counter play, the play coming right back to him. A lot of linebackers would take that fake inside, get hooked, and Bryant would have the corner. Crosby did a good job of staying at home, made the play, but Bryant still struggled for the first down.
So Philadelphia leading here 3-0 and looking for more. They have a first down at the Maulers' 18-yard line. Jerry Holmes out on coverage now with Willie Collier. Fitzke is slotted to the left, and this time Fusina back to pass, throws one in the end zone for Fitzke, and it's overthrown. Double coverage. Jesse Johnson got over there that time to help out Mark Harper, but I think Fusina just smartly threw the ball away.
He saw the double coverage. He was starting to get a little bit pressure from the inside from our defensive lineman, threw the football away. He knows he's in a scoring territory right now. He'll not put the ball up for grabs. He's going to take what the Mauler defense gives him.
Jack, I'm wondering, the longer the Maulers stay in this football game competitively, the more difficulty it will be for Philadelphia, I think, to win the game. I mean, obviously they're a 17-point favorite. Most people think they're a lock to win this game, but wouldn't you think they'd try to open it up a little earlier here and try to blow them out and hope that the Maulers would quit and they could go in at halftime maybe with a victory?
Well, I think they do what they do best. Run the football, play action, mix it up a little bit. Fusina's playing the same game he's played in the last 14 games.
Maulers could shut them down here. They'd feel a lot better about themselves. Fusina's sacked back at the 23-yard line. And Ike Griffin is the man who got through to make the tackle. An excellent individual effort by Griffin, who simply beat his block and got through to make the tackle. And so it'll be third down now for Philadelphia, and they got some distance. They got to get the ball inside the 9-yard line.
And give Ike Griffin all the credit in the world. He never quit. That offensive tackle had him right at the line of scrimmage. He took the inside move on him, kept pressuring on that gap inside, and finally got to Fusina. Fusina was so confident that his offensive line would protect for him, never really moved in the pocket.
That is the 4th sack of the year for Ike Griffin. Philadelphia now with third down and 15. Here's where they need the pass rush. And they've only got 3 down linemen, so they're going to cover. No, they got 4. Fusina back to throw it, delivers it in the end zone, and it is caught. No good. He caught it, but out of bounds. Willie Collier caught the football, but Mickey Sutton and Jesse Johnson had him double teamed, and again they went right for the flag. Jack, they seem to like that flag area.
Well, I think Mickey Sutton did an excellent job on one-on-one coverage. I want to belabor the point, but our defensive line is not getting pressure on Fusina. It's our secondary is what's doing a great job. Our secondary is keeping us in a football game right now, probably only down 6-0 after this field goal.
David Trout out of Reardon hold at the 30-yard line. It'll be an attempt of exactly 40 yards by David Trout. Philly leading 3-0. Reardon's a quarterback. They could fake it, but they don't. Trout kicks it. It's up, and it is good again. So David Trout continues to have a very good year here in Philadelphia. He's now 21 of 31. That's a 58-yard drive in 10 plays. However, Philadelphia again settles for the field goal. It's 6-0 Stars. Sam Nover and Jack Ham back at the vet in Philadelphia. 2 David Trout field goals, one of 34, the other of 40 yards, has Philadelphia in front here by a score of 6-0. 12 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the half, and Trout's kick is high and deep. 2 yards deep to be exact, and Miller's going to bring it out to the 5, to the 10, the 15, and that's where he goes down. And this excellent special team of Philadelphia prevents the Maulers from getting the ball to the 20-yard line. The tackle made by Scott Fitzke. 17 yards on the return.
And credit David Trout that time. He put that ball right at the goal line, a very, very high kick, giving his covered team time to get downfield. And anytime you stop a team inside the 20-yard line, that's excellent coverage, and the Stars have done that entire year.
Jack, you wanted to make a comment on Mickey Sutton when we went away.
Well, Mickey Sutton broke up the pass, which looked like a touchdown in the end zone, and then he came back on the field goal and almost blocked the field goal. He's hustling on every play. He's giving 110% out there.
From the 15-yard line, Rosance has very poor field position this time. Ira Albright, the up back, with the play action pass over the middle. Wide open Greg Anderson up around the 29-yard line. And the tackle made there by Garcia Lane, but Mike Lush, the free safety, was slapping his hands together like he blew the coverage.
Well, what they had was the in-out coverage where Mike Lush is coming from the inside. And really what Tom Rosance has got to do is he's got to deliver that football a little bit earlier, because Greg Anderson is coming down and making his cut or his curl route right at the 30-yard line. He's waiting for the football. He's got to get it a little bit earlier.
Kathy Bocek of Valencia, Pennsylvania, is our sweepstakes contestant. And the give is to Rozier on a sweep to the 30. The 35 falls forward to the 37-yard line. An excellent gain on first down by Mike Rozier. And now Ira Albright having words with a linebacker by the name of George Cooper. Albright's out there, and you talk about people coming to play the game. That Albright.
And that time Ira Albright in motion, the play we ran last week, he was the guy to put the block on George Cooper that time. In motion, turned upfield, giving Mike Rozier a lane inside, and he made about 6 yards on first down.
They give him 7, actually, and so it's 2nd down and 3 now. The Maulers starting to move the football, beginning this drive at their own 15-yard line. One wide receiver. It's Greg Anderson, split wide to the right, and a double tight end. They got Flowers in blocking from the tight end position, and the give straight ahead to the running back, Walter Holman. And he's shy of the first down. He only gained about a yard on the carry. He was cut down right at the 39-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down for the Maulers now, and about a yard to go to keep the football. Actually, they got almost 2 yards, Jack.
And the injury that really hurts us in this football game is Mark Rao. Mark Rao goes from a tight end to a wide receiver for the Maulers without substituting. That way we keep the substitution in order. A team doesn't know what we're going to do on offense. With Al Kimichik in the game, we have to substitute on 3rd down.
On 2nd and 3, the Maulers went with a double tight end. On 3rd and 2, they go with receivers and flip it to Rozier, who got the first down all on his own. He had one block out in front. Maggs was out there trying to help him out, but for the most part, Rozier was on his own, and he got the first down on 2nd effort.
And one more time, George Cooper has a hard time handling Ira Albright. He tried to take Ira Albright low that time, but all he did is submarine himself. Ira Albright really fell on top of him. Mike Rozier again cut back inside off that block, and Ira Albright's coming out of the game. But he's a player. He's enthusiastic out there, and he's a big reason why Mike Rozier got the first down.
From the 42-yard line. I just got through saying he did it all on his own, and you tell me Albright's the reason. Now, it can't be both. Here's a throw, and he had an open receiver out of the right flat, and the receiver fell down. He tried to get the ball to Anderson. I think what you're saying is that Albright got him the position where he could get the first down, and Rozier, just on great second effort, was able to run for the 3 yards needed for the first down, but Ira gave him the chance to do it. And
George Cooper really did a thing a linebacker should never do. You never sell yourself out one-on-one. Just bury yourself in the ground and let a running back fall on top of you. That time he was not a player, and that's one of the few bad plays probably George Cooper's made in this football game. Under 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. Philadelphia 6, the Maulers nothing. And here's Rosance, delivers one in the right flat, and it's caught at the 45 of Philadelphia, and another first down, and Jackie Flowers made the catch. And he continues this incredible statistic
virtually every reception he has, Jack, is either for a touchdown or a first down.
And this was an outstanding catch by Jackie Flowers. Jonathan Sutton had one-on-one coverage. He came at an all-out blitz, and Jackie Flowers has good hands and good coverage by Sutton. Flowers still brings the football in for another first down.
And I notice they're double-teaming your buddy Kugler right in the middle. From the 45-yard line of Philadelphia, first time for the Maulers in Philadelphia territory. Here's a quick pop to Anderson at the 40 and the 37 and out of bounds. And he's wrapped out of bounds by Cooper and Garcia Lane. But that play also netted the Maulers 8 yards on first down. It'll be second down and a long 2. So on first down, they're opening up the offense a little bit here.
And I think right now Tom Rosans is getting a little bit comfortable back there. He's reading the defense pretty well. They came with a blitz the time before that. He read it and got the ball off to Flowers. This time his zone defense. All Anderson did was hook it up and got 7 or 8 yards, and he's doing a good job with the offense right now.
From the 37-yard line of Philadelphia, the Maulers with a second down and very long 2. Albright goes in motion, pitches to Rozier. Ira with a crushing block, and Rozier with a second effort could not get to the sticks. Boy, Albright is just running over people out there. He doesn't care who it is. The first man he sees, he runs into. In this case, it was a defensive back by the name of Antonio Gibson.
And Antonio Gibson, being a smart defensive back, took Ira Albright on low again, but a defensive player cannot do that, and that's why Mike Rozier is being effective going to the outside. But they realize Ira Albright's in the game. They know he's the fullback, and they know he's 260 pounds. They're not going to try to take him on high, and when a defensive back is probably about 195 pounds.
It is third down and less than a yard for the Maulers to keep the ball. This drive again began at their own 15-yard line. They're at the Philadelphia 35. An excellent drive by Rosans and company. Mills, who met him head-on at the line of scrimmage and just ripped Rozier backward. In fact, he lost a yard.
And Sam Mills, I don't care if he's 5'9" or 4'9", he came in and made a tremendous hit on Mike Rozier, who's a physical running back, met him right at the line of scrimmage, and he probably lost a half a yard. And I think on fourth down, I think Ellis Rainsbury is going to think about this, but I think we'll probably try to go for it and keep his drive alive.
So the Maulers call a timeout, and we'll return to the vet right after this. And what they're going to do on fourth down, and what they're going to do is try to run the football or pass it perhaps. They're at the Philadelphia 35.5-yard line. It is fourth down for the Maulers with 7:40 to go here in the second quarter, and the Stars leading 6-0. What do you call here, Hammer?
Right now, even though we have Mike Rozier in the backfield, I think what I would try to do is go with a naked bootleg, the same type of play that Cliff Stout runs with Birmingham. I think their defensive line is going to be up on the line of scrimmage trying to penetrate, and I think it'd be a good opportunity to Rosans to fake it to Rozier and just bootleg it out, naked bootleg it out himself.
This is the 10th play of the drive. They come out with receivers split left and right. And Rosans on a pitch to Rozier. And he knifes in and got the first down as he fell forward to the 34-yard line and inside it. And he got it just by probably the length of the football, but he got the first down. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Pittsburgh Maulers Radio Network.
This is WAMO-FM in Pittsburgh.
With Jack Ham, Sam Nover back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Under 7 minutes to play second quarter. And the Maulers convert on the 4th and 1, get the first down inside the Philadelphia 34-yard line, Jack.
And you got to give Mike Rozier all the credit in the world. He's the guy we want to use on 3rd and short situation or 4th and short. And he had a break a tackle to get to that first down yard mark, and he just barely made it. They measured on the play, and he probably made it by half the length of the football.
In the ironical part here is that they converted on 4th down, longer yardage than on 3rd down. And I talked about their 3rd down efficiency earlier. They can't convert on 3rd down, but they're doing all right on 4th down. And they had farther to go. Slotted to the left is Jackie Flowers. Now he goes in motion away from us to the far sideline, and a Mauler moves. Dan Dubiago, he made penetration into the secondary of Philadelphia, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty. And Dubiago pointing to somebody at Philadelphia, but they can move, Dan. You can't.
Dan ought to look up the rules because
First down.
He's not allowed to move once he's set on the line of scrimmage with his hand down, but up to this point, we have not any penalties against the Maulers. A very impressive drive that Tom Rosans has put together. Now the 5-yard penalty puts it in a different situation now with the ball on about the 39-yard line.
Rozier comes out on 1st and 15. The ball now back at the 39-yard line. Well, that'll make it a bit more difficult. So does Ira Albright come to the sideline for a rest or for an equipment repair as he gives Mike Fox, the equipment manager, his helmet immediately. And so we've got a new tandem in the backfield, William Miller and Walter Holman. Anderson wide left and Jackie Flowers to the right. 1st and 15 for the Maulers. In motion is Miller. Rosans turns, Now some pressure, rolling to his right. Looking downfield, throws a ball. It's caught. First down to Jackie Flowers at the 20-yard line. An excellent play. Rosance went back in the pocket, rolled away from the pressure to his right. Flowers came clean, and a 20-yard completed pass.
Give Rosance and Jackie Flowers all the credit in the world. When Flowers saw Rosance was in trouble, he had a hook pattern across the middle. Finally saw the defender was right on his shoulder, turned back to the outside so Rosance could see him, and got the ball on the 19-yard line for a first down.
They beat Jonathan Sutton, the 6-year veteran out of New Mexico, who had to follow Flowers all the way across the field. It is first down Pittsburgh at the Philadelphia 19-yard line. This is a very, very impressive drive. They have eaten up oodles of time on the clock here, and this is the 12th play of the drive. Trailing 6-0, the pitch to Miller. Hits the line of scrimmage, falls forward to about the 16-yard line. William Miller coming off his best performance of the year last week, 115 yards in the victory over Washington. Tackle made by Buddy Moore and George Cooper, but a pickup of about 4 yards by Miller.
And the strong safety and the outside linebackers are still very cognizant of the fact that Ira Albright's at fullback, and they're trying to play him off a little bit, duck underneath Ira Albright, and he's doing a good job of shielding the outside, the containment, and all our running backs are cutting back inside, Rozier and Miller.
Burroughs has gone all the way at center. Here's Rosance on 2nd and 6. I formation with William Miller in the backfield. And the pitch is to Miller. Here's a reverse to Flowers.
Oh, we got a touchdown.
Behind a Rosance block. The 15, to the 10, the 5, and out of bounds at the 3. You spoke a little too soon, Hammer. He was run out as the pursuit finally got him. Antonio Gibson at the 3-yard line. It looked, boy, he had a whole open field, but Flowers does not have great foot speed. Rosance probably can outrun Flowers, and Rosance was running the interference.
And Jackie Flowers, and we talk about what a good intermediate receiver he has. He had that corner with 2 or 3 Maulers in front of him, and the star defensive backs caught up to him. He really had that. I thought it was going to be a touchdown very easily, but you can see that he does not have that blinding breakaway speed that some of the other wide receivers in the league have.
How about this drive? So far, 82 yards to the Philadelphia 3. First and goal to go. Rosance turns and gives it to Rozier to about the 1 maybe, and he's shoved back. Rozier fighting for extra yardage in the middle of the pile, just went in over his own left guard and trying to wedge out some additional yardage to see where they spot it. It is inside the 1-yard line. What an impressive drive. Maybe one of the more impressive drives of the entire year in light of the circumstances and the opposition.
And a big play was Tom Rosance getting away from pressure and getting the ball down for a first down. It was 1st and 15. A play down to Flowers at the 19-yard line, which was a big play.
Rozier in behind Albright, double tight end. 2nd down and goal. Rozier dives, and I'm waiting. No signal. No signal. He hit the goal line. I don't think they're going to give it to him, Jack.
No, but I'll tell you, he stretched that football up over the goal line or right to the goal line. And I don't think the officials saw it, but when he was down, he stretched it out right to the goal line. The official was saying he was a little bit short. And I'll tell you, I'm glad we have Mike Rozier in the game right now. I'm looking at the replay, and it looks like he stretches the ball out late. The official made the correct call. He stretched the ball out late when his knee had already touched down. 3rd down.
Nose of the football inches away from the goal line. 3rd down. But the Maulers got to be in 4-down territory. They aren't going to settle for 3 out of this. Here's Rozier diving.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, yes, a late call from the near side. And the crowd thought they had stopped him again, but Rozier went over the pile for the touchdown, and the Maulers have tied the Philadelphia Stars.
Sam, that was an outstanding drive by Tom Rosance, taking control of that football team. I think it's going to do a lot for his confidence, moving his football team against the Stars. And a big play was his quarterback scramble, getting away from pressure, and Rozier looking at the replay, Rozier got right to the goal line, and it's a close call, and the official, I think, made the correct call. He broke the play into the goal line, and it's a touchdown.
Eric Schubert will attempt to give the Maulers a lead. Swider holding the placement. The kick is up, and it is perfect. So the Pittsburgh Maulers lead the best team in the USFL, the Philadelphia Stars, with 4 minutes and 41 seconds left to play here in the 2nd quarter. We'll be back in a moment. Are able to navigate 85 yards of artificial real estate here at the Vet in 15 plays, 7 minutes, 9-second drive, Jack.
And we ran the football effectively against Ira Albright, doing a good job of blocking for Rozier and William Miller. And Tom Rosance doing a good job of getting away from pressure and finding the open receiver.
Ball blows off the tee, so Eric Schubert has to reset it. 7-6, the Maulers lead the Philadelphia Stars. I remind you, they trailed at halftime 6-3 in Pittsburgh, the Maulers did. But here they have a chance to go to the locker room with a lead. Mike McCants in deep safety here. And Schubert sends a high kick. McCants 1 yard deep in the end zone to the 10, the 15, the 20, trying to get outside, and he's collared and brought down to the 21-yard line. Craig Walls is a man who ripped him down to the 21, and so that's where Philadelphia will go to work. And so Fusina and company come back on the field here in a 7-6 football game, and the Maulers leading.
And our special teams did a good job. We got an excellent kick from Eric Schubert all the way down to the goal line, and Craig Walls coming down on a special team stopped him right at the 21-yard line. Good special teams by the Maulers the entire first half.
Here they come out of it now. Their center is Bart Oates, George Gilbert, and Chuck Comiskey at the guards. Brad Oates and Irv Eatman the tackles. Eatman, the big All-American out of UCLA. They give it to Kelvin Bryant for about 3 yards. Bryant stretches himself out to the 25-yard line. He falls forward for 3 yards every time.
And that's a sign of a great back. He got hit right around the 21-yard line, came inside, broke a tackle, and lunged up to the 24. And like I said, that's a sign of an excellent back. Rozier does the same thing on our side.
Jack, I mentioned earlier that the weaker teams in the USFL have given Philadelphia enormous difficulty this year. They beat Memphis by a score of 17-9. They beat Washington 17-6, and they only beat San Antonio 20-14. But against the better quality teams in the league, they romp. Here's Fusina with all day. Has a man wide open down the middle. He catches the ball at the 48-yard line. That is another first down, and again it's Kelvin Bryant out of the backfield, and he's beating the linebacker. Mickey Sutton had to make the stop.
That time he got in behind the linebacker. He's coming after they made that big play in the first quarter down to the 30-yard line of the Maulers. Now they're going to Kelvin Bryant out of the backfield. They realize their outside linebackers can't cover him one-on-one, and that time he got down to about the 49-yard line, and Kelvin Bryant is an excellent running back, but he's also an excellent receiver out of the backfield.
Third catch of the game for Bryant. He is second on this club in receptions, or actually third behind Fitzke and Collier. Now here's Harvin trying to reverse his field, and Bryant it is, the 45, the 40, and they finally bring him down, but they had him trapped way back in his own end, but he reversed his field and got the first down. A nifty piece of running by Kelvin Bryant.
And our outside linebackers that time, Ron Freeman on the outside, who's replacing Mike McKibben, has got to stay home. He can't over-pursue against a great running back like Kelvin Bryant. He's not going to help plays on the other side of the field. Ron Crosby and those people on that side have to make that play. He's got to stay at home. In case he cuts back against the grain, he's got to be there to turn it back in.
Jerry Holmes made the stop, but not before Bryant picked up another first down at the Maulers' 40-yard line. Now here's the give to about the 40-yard line. That was it. Ball carrier Alan Harvin, and he got maybe a yard inside the 40. But they gave Bryant a breather there after two successive nifty plays by the former North Carolina All-American and last year's MVP in the USFL, Kelvin Bryant.
And Ron Crosby on a blitz on first down had an opportunity to try to make a big play in the backfield. Couldn't make it on Harvin, missed him, tried to tackle him high, missed him, and he got back to the line of scrimmage.
And we've got a timeout on the field as we hit the 2-minute warning with a score: the Maulers 7, the Stars 6. We'll be back.
A division of Frank B. Fuhrer Holdings Incorporated.
During that timeout, it looked like half the Mauler defensive unit came over to the sideline to talk with Joe Herring.
Looked like a lot of the defensive linemen and linebackers are over there. Maybe the secondary, who's played pretty well in his first half, but has done a good job. They don't need a little coaching from the sideline, but the whole defensive line and linebackers were over talking to Joe Herring. I think he's a little bit upset.
Second down and 10 now for Fusina. The 2-minute warning. Maulers leading the Philadelphia Stars 7-6. Would you believe it? Fusina with pressure from behind. Now it starts to run, and he's trapped and brought down back at the 44-yard line. David Graham gets credit for the sack. Ike Griffin just missed him. In fact, I think it was Griffin who forced Fusina to step back up in the pocket, and that's where Graham nabbed him.
And whatever Joe Herring told those guys on the sideline, it sure did work, but they came off the football that time. One of the few times they've gotten pressure on Fusina and dropped him for a sack, now back on the 43-yard line.
5.5 sacks on the year now for David Graham. So the Maulers defense playing tough, or attempting to. Third down and 14 for the Philadelphia Stars. At the 44-yard line of Pittsburgh, Fusina back to pass again. Looking downfield, pump fakes, now delivers one downfield, and it is caught at the 10-yard line. And to the 5-yard line, and finally at the 2, they whistle the play dead. And it's David Riley coming out of the backfield again. And the Maulers are getting killed on backside of the backfield, beating the linebackers.
And this time it wasn't the starting linebacker. This time it was Craig Walls, who has one-on-one coverage. Again, David Riley is not the primary receiver, but he has Craig Walls, who's an outstanding athlete, had him beat by 3 or 4 yards. And whatever they've seen in the Mauler defense over the last couple of weeks, they're going after the outside linebackers matched up on a running back, and so far it's been a mismatch.
So the linebackers having their hands full. Otherwise, the Maulers have played extremely well in this half.
And Sam, that was a third down play, third and about 14, and that was a big play for the Stars, and it really might break the back here.
From the 1 yard line, Kelvin Bryant diving, and touchdown Philadelphia. I don't know about that. He had a good second effort, and I guess he got in the second time. He got hit when he went up in the air, but he got the touchdown, so Philadelphia has the lead right back again.
And Sam, it was a big third down play they made for the Holmes, Harper, and Johnson have done an excellent job. It's really the linebackers, the outside linebackers, and Craig Walls, when he's down there on prevent situation, matching up on David Riley, and who David Riley has good speed, but he's not the primary receiver downfield. He's been so open. If you've seen his finds the open receiver and just deliver the football to him.
And I think Philadelphia may go for 2 here. Philadelphia now has taken David Trout off the field, and they have put their offense back on again. So they're going to go for 2. They lead the Maulers 12-7.
This could be to David Riley. Could be a pick play.
Anthony Cena back to pass, looking in the end zone, throws the ball, and it's intercepted, so the conversion attempt is no good. It was intercepted by Howard McAdoo, a linebacker out of Michigan State, and so the Maulers are able to come up with a big linebacking play there, although they had failed earlier for the touchdown.
And that time it was David Riley circling out of the backfield across the middle. If you've seen it going back to it again, this time the Maulers made the play, stopped them from getting a 2-point conversion, but really going back to that third down play, which really broke the back. The Maulers would have had the ball back, leading 7-6, and would probably going into halftime with that score.
While we have a moment here, we invite you to test your sports knowledge in Burger King Sports Trivia Contest. Our question number 7 this week is, of the 4 major golf championships, which one has Arnold Palmer never won? We invite you to register by filling out the back of your Mauler ticket or at any one of the 46 area Burger King restaurants. The prize is a week for 2 at world-class resorts in San Francisco, California. The trip compliments of Travelex and Pan Am, Pittsburgh's Wings to the World. And the winner will be announced at the Monday, June 11th Maulers home game with San Antonio. That at 8 o'clock in the evening.
Sam, what this does to the Mauler defense going into the locker room, they're going to be more conscious of the running backs coming out of the backfield. They're going to try to help the linebackers a little bit more in the second half, knowing they're getting beat by both Bryan and Riley, which might be opening it up for maybe Collier or Scott Fitzke in the second half.
Under 1 minute to play, exactly 59 seconds, as Trout puts the ball on the kicking tee. So the Maulers have time here, and I believe they have 2 timeouts left, Jack, in the half?
I think they have 2, and I doubt if Alan Rainsberger will continue the way he's been in the last couple weeks. He'll probably try to sit on it right here and just go to the locker room down 12-7.
Hollis Payton, who was just signed last week, a rookie running back out of West Virginia State, is in safety along with William Miller and Mickey Sutton, and this kick goes into the end zone, so it's a moot point. It goes out of the field of play. Trout has driven some line drives over the heads of the Maulers' deep men, and so the Maulers will begin at their own 20-yard line. The clock, of course, doesn't start until the ball is touched. So the Maulers still with 59 seconds, Jack, and as you have suggested, Rainsberger has been conservative in these situations, and one has to imagine he would be reasonably content to go to the locker room trailing by only 5, although I guess you're never happy to be behind.
There's no question about that, but looking on the sidelines, I'm seeing Joe Herring, the defensive coordinator, talking to Ron Freeman. He's really upset because he really feels his defense has played pretty well. He thought we could go into halftime only leading 7-6, and really the outside linebacker, he's got Walls down there and Freeman. He's talking to both of them right now, and he's talking to them very loudly.
Here's Walter Holman, now the lone setback at the 20-yard line, and the give on a delay to Holman. Cross the 20 to the 25, and he falls forward to about the 26-yard line. So the Maulers will work on the clock here unless they can get some good field position very quickly, and by that I mean break off a big run, and then maybe have a chance to throw the ball downfield. But right now they're content to let the clock run down. 40 seconds to play in the half. Well, this has got to come as a surprise to some people.
Oh, there's no question. But I think the Maulers have played extremely well defensively in the first half. They made a couple mistakes on coverage, which cost them big plays. But by and large, especially the drive that Rosance had.
Here's Holman breaking into the open at the 40-yard line, and he got a first down up around the 43. Sorry to jump on you, Jack, but I thought Holman might have been gone there for a moment.
Well, he did a good job of breaking a tackle right at the line of scrimmage, but with 23 seconds left to go in the half, as soon as they move the sticks up, I think the clock will continue. But right now, the Maulers have called a timeout.
We invite you to stay tuned, of course, at halftime. Tony Giordano will have halftime highlights for you and other information. And then following the ball game, Tony will give a post-game report, and Jack will be in the locker room with his weekly locker room report from the Maulers dressing room.
Well, I'm really impressed right now what Joe Herring is doing. He has every linebacker down there. He's talking to every one of them. He knows he only has 15 minutes in the locker room to talk to everybody. He's got all 4 linebackers down there talking to him right now, going over the mistakes they've made in the first half.
Of course, we're happy again tonight to have along our Maulers radio network affiliates WMMN in Fairmont, West Virginia, WWZE in Central City, WDAD in Indiana, WBVP in Beaver Falls, WHJB Greensburg, WBBW in Youngstown, and WEIR in Weirton, West Virginia. Nice to have you all on our Maulers radio network broadcast. We're at the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. And we're about 23 seconds away from halftime with the Maulers trailing Philadelphia by a score of 12-7. I doubt if Philadelphia will change anything at halftime, Jack. This is the way they have played all year long, win, lose, or draw. There haven't been many losses or draws on this season for them.
And in the third quarter, in the opening kickoff in the second half, they expect they'll get the football, and this is really where they really take control of a football game. But right now, the Maulers are in it, and I think if they continue to play the way they have in the first half, they got a good opportunity to get an upset.
Rosance back to pass, looking downfield, avoids a rush, dumps it off in the right flat to Holman, about the 45, and he crawled for a couple of yards, but Philadelphia will give that play to them all day long.
Well, they're in a deep zone defense right now. They're a smart defensive football team. No big plays. They don't want any kind of pass interference, and the Maulers have called another timeout with 13 seconds left, but the Stars aren't going to give them anything deep.
Of course, next Monday night, our broadcast will originate from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh when the San Antonio Gunslingers come to town. That will be a 7:40 start with the coach's show. Pre-game report at 7:50 and the kickoff shortly past 8 o'clock. And so the Maulers playing out the string here on their inaugural season in the USFL, looking, of course, for the real plum here in Philadelphia tonight. Obviously, it won't make their season, but beating the best team in the USFL will give Hank Bull a lot to build on for next year. And then, of course, they can play out the season. San Antonio, as I mentioned, comes to town. Following that, Tampa Bay comes to Pittsburgh, and then they close it out in Jacksonville. So there are some games the Maulers can win there. Certainly they can beat San Antonio. And, of course, Jacksonville is a 4-11 team. They have not exactly had an outstanding inaugural season themselves.
And if Ellis Rainsberg was worried about how well his football team is going to play today, whether they were going to pack it in against the best team in the USFL, they have played extremely well in the first half. The defense has played very well, and that one drive that Tom Rosance engineered for the touchdown was a big drive.
13 seconds to play in the first half. Maulers are out of timeouts, so they'll have to run one long play here, or maybe a sideline pattern, and then time enough for one more. Lone setback is Holman. Rosance back to pass again. Has some pressure from Don Fielder. Steps up in the pocket. Now they're pursuing from behind. Throws it cross-field, and it's caught by Anderson at the Philadelphia 40-yard line. And I believe the clock, no, they've got to stop the clock now to move the sticks. He got the first down. So the Maulers, they're rushing Eric Schubert out on the field, will try to attempt the field goal if they can. 3 seconds left. Swider kneels at the 46-yard line. It'll be an attempt to 56 yards by Eric Schubert. They got the stick set. He whistles, the play begins. Here's a snap. Schubert uncorks one. It is long, and it is good! I don't believe it! But a penalty marker is down. Eric Schubert kicked a 56-yard field goal as time expired in the half, but it may all be for naught. There's a penalty flag down.
I see George Cooper pointing back. No, it's good.
Philadelphia, too many men on the field, I believe, and the Maulers will go to the locker room trailing Philadelphia by just 2. What a bizarre circumstance. In the USFL, when you achieve a first down, the clock stops automatically. While they were moving the sticks and stopping the clock, Swider and Schubert and the field goal kicking team came on the field, And when the referee signaled that the clock begins again, the ball was snapped immediately. Swider put it down, and Schubert got it over the crossbar by the skin of his teeth, but nobody will see that in the record book. 56-yard field goal by Schubert. We go to halftime. The Philadelphia Stars 12 and the Pittsburgh Maulers 10. As we move along here in the broadcast, here's his kick to the 2-yard line to start the second half of play. And tackled at the 12-yard line is the ball carrier Harris, and that is where Philadelphia will begin the drive. From their own 12-yard line, good special teams coverage, and again, Jim Perryman downfield to make the tackle. So the Maulers start Philadelphia very deep in their own end, Jack.
And this is usually the big part of the Star football game is their special teams, but our Maulers have done an excellent job covering kicks, getting good field position, and this time stopping on the 13-yard line. A good kick by Eric Schubert down to the goal line was the start of the whole coverage.
That field goal of 56 yards by Schubert is the second longest in the history of the USFL, and the second time this year that somebody has kicked 56 yards. Novo Boyovich, the place kicker for Michigan, had a 56-yarder earlier. Here is a give to Kelvin Bryant for about 2 yards up the middle. The longest field goal in the short history of this league was 57 yards by Jim Asmus of Arizona last year against Los Angeles. So by 1 yard, Eric Schubert missed tying the USFL record for the longest field goal. But he has brought the Maulers to within 2 of the Philadelphia Stars, who have won 11 straight, 13-1 this year, 28 of 32 in their regular season history. What an amazing football team they've been.
They've been a consistent football team both seasons. They got upset last year by Michigan in the playoffs.
2nd down and 8. Fusina now on a pitch to Kelvin Bryant. And he is hit at the line of scrimmage and knocked down by Mickey Sutton. And Sutton really came to all of our attention in that New Jersey game when he had 14 unassisted tackles and 3 assists and played his heart out. And he's an amazing football player, Jack, at 5'9", 170 pounds, and he's playing strong safety.
And that was excellent defense by the Maulers. That time, Ron Crosby had the containment. His job was to contain Kelvin Bryant, make him turn back inside. Mickey Sutton had the cutback area, the area inside of Ron Crosby. He made the play. Mickey Sutton is playing outstanding football.
Here's some good news. Sam Clancy is in on 3rd down. So number 77 is back in the lineup, maybe just on passing situations, but he is back nonetheless. 3rd down and 8. And no, Griffin got free in the middle for a moment, and the pass is broken up. It is knocked down by Craig Walls and also Mickey Sutton. And I think Sutton is a little disgusted he didn't catch the ball. He thought he had a chance for an intercept.
Excellent zone defense by the Maulers that time on 3rd down and long. Mickey Sutton breaking on the football from the inside, Walls from the outside. They just really drilled the receiver and stripped him of the football. Big series for the Maulers, stopping on 3 downs.
First punt of the night for Sean Landetta, who is the #1 kicker in the Eastern Conference, and a fair catch by the Maulers at the Philadelphia 46-yard line. Mark Harper running up on a short kick by Landetta. Only 30 yards, and so he was a little bit stale, having not kicked at all in the first half. And the Maulers begin their first series of the second half at the Philadelphia 46. So we'll take a break and return to the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia right after this. Maulers now huddling up back at the 45-yard line of Pittsburgh, and when they put the ball in play, Jack, they will begin with their best field position of the night.
And Mark Harper did an excellent job of catching that punt. It was a short punt. He came up, called for a fair catch, did not let the ball hit the ground. If it did, he may have gained 20 yards on the punt. He caught it, and it's good field position for the Maulers.
Flowers is wide to the right and Greg Anderson to the left. I formation with Rozier and Ira Albright in the backfield. And now Flowers comes in motion to the near side. And fumbled by Rosance, and Rozier wisely fell on the ball back at the 48-yard line. Rosance bobbled the snap, and Rozier, instead of trying to pick it up and run with it, fell on the football, and the Maulers glad to take the loss and keep the ball.
I think Tom Rosance a little bit anxious coming here at the beginning of third quarter, pulled out a little bit early from the center and just bobbled the football, and an alert Mike Rozier, instead of trying to pick it up, just fell on it. You're right, Sammy. Smart play by Rozier.
So the Maulers lose on the exchange 2 yards. It is 2nd down and 12. And now Flowers goes wide to the right. All that running in motion for Flowers for naught. Didn't even get a chance to run the play, or at least his pattern. Here's Anderson to the left. And Rosance, play action, fakes the give to Rozier, rolling to his right. Ran out of real estate and threw the ball downfield, and it is out of bounds. It was tipped along the sideline and is incomplete. Rosance I don't know if that play was designed to set up the way it was designed, but Rosance got to the sideline in a hurry and really ran out of room to throw the ball.
Well, he was getting too much pressure, and Mike Lush down around the 20-yard line almost picked that football off. Looked like he was going up for the ball, would have caught the interception, but what we're trying to do is design rollout, but we're getting too much pressure from the defensive end, making Tom Rosance drift a little bit, and he can't find the open receiver downfield.
Burris is the center. Corbin and Hickman the guards. Dubiago and Don Maggs the tackles. Al Kimachik the tight end to start the second half. And again, the same receivers. Anderson and Flowers split left and right respectively, and the Stars look like they're going to blitz. Here's a reverse. Rosance gives a block. Flowers trying to get open. 50, 45, still on his feet, and stumbles out of bounds at the 40-yard line. He had to go very deep for that reverse, Jack, and I think it probably cost the Maulers the play. In concept, it was fine, but Garcia Lane got over to knock him out of bounds and make the tackle secure at about the 40. So the Maulers come up 4 yards shy of the first down. It'll be fourth down now and about 4.
And George Cooper, the linebacker they ran the reverse on before, got upfield a little bit more, made Jackie Flowers belly a little bit further upfield, and now they're going to have to punt the football away.
So Larry Swider will come on and try to hem Philadelphia up in their own end. The Stars now just getting their punt return team on the field. Not quite sure what the Maulers would do.
Isn't that within Schubert's range right there?
You did. You got it, Hammer. Harvin in single safety. Swider trying to knock one out of bounds, and it does. It goes out inside the 10-yard line. So Swider, for one of the rare instances in this season, really tried to knock that out of bounds, and he did. He's not the kind of punter who does that. So the Maulers pin the Stars up at their own 10-yard line. We'll be back right after this. Offense of the Philadelphia Stars now on the field under the guidance of Cena, the McKees Rocks native, former Penn State All-American, great young man, having an outstanding year again for Philadelphia as he did last year, but finding the going a little bit tougher against Pittsburgh. And I'm wondering if Philadelphia may have lost the edge in this ball game, pointing to a Friday night encounter that they got coming up. May have overlooked the Maulers. After all, they came into this game 3-11, Jack, but they have played very well, have the Maulers. Here's a give to Bryant, and he loses 2 yards. He was stacked up just as he got the ball. Ike Griffin was there almost at the time that Fusina handed the ball off.
Ike Griffin getting good penetration in the backfield. He made a big sack in the first half. Got good penetration inside, coming upfield, and really made Kelvin Bryant go the other direction. And our defense in the first series played well, and right now in the first play in this series, they're playing exceptionally well.
You'd never know the Maulers were 17-point underdogs. I'll tell you that. They trailed 12-10. Early moments, third quarter. Philadelphia backed up now at their 8-yard line. Here's Bryant across the 10 to the 13, and the Maulers playing the run very well. Crosby made the stop. Jesse Johnson was there. In fact, there were 5 or 6 white-shirted Maulers around the football. So it'll be third down and about 7 now for Philadelphia. And they stay on the ground deep in their own end.
It looks like Sam Clancy might be coming in the game on third down situation just for the pass rushing. They're not going to use him on first and second down. They'll use him here on third down and save him that way.
So here comes Clancy in the game. And getting out is the big tackle, Archie Reese. From the 13-yard line. Fusina now with a slot to the left. And his favorite receiver, Scott Fitzke, out to the right. At least against the Maulers, he's been number 1. Oh, and he's sacked and he fumbles the ball. And they ruled he delivered the ball.
Oh.
They ruled that he had his arm in motion. He got smacked hard in the backfield, lost the ball. The Maulers covered it at the 2-yard line, but they're ruling that Fusina's arm was in motion, and there is an injured Mauler on the field, Jack.
And there's an injured Fusina down on the field as well, and both trainers from the Stars come out. And excellent hit that time coming from the right end was Doug Holly. Doug Holly beat his man upfield and made the play. Sam Clancy gets the football. It's a tough call by the official. It looks like he really brought the ball down, and they called it an incomplete pass. But Chuck Fusina is down on the ground right now and talking to their PR people before the game today. That's one person they can't lose. But it looks like Chuck's up on his feet right now.
Fusina's the first one up. It looked to me as if Griffin kicked Holly in the head. It just as Holly was racing for the loose football. I think Ike may have kicked Doug Holly in the head, and now Holly being helped to his feet. No, he's holding his shoulder. But he gets credit for having knocked the ball loose, and they say that Fusina was in the motion of delivering the ball, so it goes simply as an incompleted pass and brings around fourth down. And now Sean Landetta, number 1 punter in the USFL, will be kicking this one from his own goal line. And
Sam, we're going to get excellent field position again if Mark Harper can catch his football and maybe get it upfield a little bit for the second time in a row. Maybe we can take advantage of this time and take the lead from the Stars.
Landeta right at his goal line. And Harper is awaiting the punt at his own 45. Last time he ran up 10 yards and Fair caught the ball. And here's the kick by Landeta. This is a beauty. High spiral, great hang time. Harper Fair catches the ball for 38 and he's knocked down. He is knocked down and there's a penalty flag. He signaled for the fair catch and somebody, I believe the wide receiver Harris, ran into him. 50 yards on the punt, but there'll be 15 of it going back upfield for the Maulers, I do believe.
And you don't see the Stars make this kind of mistake on special teams. He called for the fair catch, and now we're going to probably get another 10 or 15 yards for a personal foul, and we'll finally get back in the excellent field position after that unbelievable punt down around about the 38-yard line.
Personal foul against Philadelphia, and it's being stepped off from the point of the infraction, the 37-yard line. It'll carry the ball into Philadelphia territory, and they'll spot it at the 47-yard line.
Say roughness, number 20 on the kicking team. That's a first down.
And that would be the first man downfield, who was Mark McCants. And the Maulers now with the excellent field position you were talking about, even though Landeta got off an outstanding punt.
And usually the Stars are the people that make the big plays on special teams. Right now, the Maulers have done it the entire first half. Now we got good field position at the 47.
12-10, Philadelphia in the lead on a quick count to Walter Holman on a dive play off his own guard inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Our big play sweepstakes contestant this quarter is Alfred Costanza of Charleroi, Pennsylvania. We're rooting for you, Alfred. The Maulers trying to hit on a big play here to wrestle the lead away from Philadelphia. They trail by only 2. We are under the 9-minute mark left in the third quarter.
And Ira Albright's in the game right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see him go in motion to our side here, to his left, and give the football to Rozier and try to come off his block.
Second down, Maulers, and about 6. Rosance on a pitch to Rozier behind Ira Albright. Puts the ball away. Tucks it up along the sideline inside the 40 to the 39, and he'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. So Mike Rozier with a run to the outside for 4 behind big Ira Albright, who has just performed so admirably as a converted defensive tackle to blocking back.
And talking to him last week in the locker room, in the locker room show, he was hoping they might put a play action pass in because he's worked on his hands catching the football out of the backfield, and he would just love to get a hold of that football. And I'm not sure too many defensive backs would try to bring down a 260-pound fullback.
Yeah, but I don't think that Ira's hands are to be mistaken with butter. They are not exact. And now the Maulers, I believe, are calling a timeout here. Rosance couldn't get together on the play, so the Maulers spend a timeout with 8:11 to play in the third quarter, and we'll take a break from the Veteran Stadium in Philadelphia with the Maulers trailing Philadelphia 12-10.
Welcome.
Here we go again. The Maulers now have decided what play on 3rd down and 2. I formation, Albright in motion to give to Rozier against the grain, and he got the first down, I believe. He hurdled his way to about the 37-yard line. It all depends on the placement. I think the official immediately signals first down. So that time they sent Rozier in motion Albright in motion to the left, but Rozier went straight up the middle, Jack.
Well, that time they've run the play so many times with him in motion going to the outside. This time I think what Mike Rozier is trying to find just that 2 or 3 yards for that first down. He saw the opening inside and took it, and really used Ira Albright really as a decoy that time, and the defense kind of overshifted a little bit that way.
Nose of the football touching the Philadelphia 36-yard line. The Maulers trailing Philadelphia 12-10. Why do I keep confusing the score? It's not really hard. Sam, get in the game. Rosance pumps and delivers the ball out of bounds. Well, he waited for his receiver Walter Holman to clear, and by the time he did, Rosance ran out of yardage, and Holman had half his body out of bounds, I think. So it was a badly conceived play almost from the go.
And Buddy Moore is doing a good job of coming off the line of scrimmage and putting pressure on Tom Rosance on that design rollout. It's very difficult to try to throw the football backpedaling the way Tom Rosance has been doing because he's getting pressure off the corner from the defensive end.
Maulers now with a 2nd down and 10. The clock stopped with 7:26 to play here in the third quarter. Jackie Flowers goes wide to the right and Greg Anderson to the left. Holman the up back in front of Mike Rozier. Ira Albright resting in Rosance play action. Here's the blitz. And they're all after Rosance. He can run with the ball. He throws it downfield on the run, and it is incomplete. And a penalty marker, interference against Philadelphia. And I believe it's Garcia Lane. Garcia Lane, the cornerback, the rookie out of Ohio State, just whacked into Anderson along the sideline at about the 20-yard line, and that will be a Pittsburgh Mauler first down after they walk off the 15 yards for interference.
And give Tom Rosance all the credit in the world. He's the guy that got away from an all-out blitz, and Garcia Lane coming over the top of Greg Anderson, and the official was right there through the flag. Big play for the Maulers.
We have just been informed that Doug Holly injured his right shoulder, as I indicated, on the near sack, if you've seen it, back of the goal line, and he is now going to have it x-rayed. So they continue to get banged up, but they're hanging tough tonight in Philadelphia. Here's the 15-yard walk-off, interference in the USFL, 15 yards, and here's your referee.
Pass interference, defense, penalties decline, personal foul, head slap, number 23 on the defense. That's a first down.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any difference which one they assessed, Jack.
Well,
they were two-time losers on that Philadelphia.
Well, they called the head slap on number 23. It was an all-out blitz going after Tom Rosance, and Antonio Gibson coming on the blitz really just pushed Tom Rosance, and that's not really we got the ball down at 21-yard line. That's all I care about.
That's the bottom line. Ira Albright, the up back. First down again. The Maulers threatening to take the lead. Rozier trying to squirm his way for a couple of yards, and that's all he gets to the 19-yard line. It'll be second down and 8, so the Maulers trying to stay on the ground here. Certainly they don't want to give up the 3, which would give them the lead, but boy, would they love to push another one into the end zone and really get Philadelphia thinking. You're talking about the second best defense in the USFL, averaging less than 12 points, giving up a game.
And I think right now what we've got Tom Rosance doing, what he's doing best, he's getting away from that pressure up the middle. He's biding his time on the outside and finding big plays down to Flowers before and Greg Anderson this time.
Maulers continue to work on the clock. We're under 6.5 minutes. Here's a pitch to Rozier. Albright with a lead block, but there's not much there. Flag goes down. Rozier goes down at the 19-yard line. There are 1, 2, 3 flags down at the same point. I guess everybody saw that infraction. Ira may have had his hands on somebody, Jack, and this will cost the Maulers. And there's an injured Philadelphia star down.
We'll check on the injury, but Ira Albright this time coming out of the backfield, and John Bunning, a smart linebacker, came up and played him off with his hands. I think Ira Albright went down towards his ankles and really tackled him, and flags came out of everywhere. I think they made the correct call.
The injured player, by the way, is Dave Ofer, the second-year nose tackle out of Penn State, 6'4", 250, and he is nose down into the AstroTurf right at the 20-yard line. Now they stretch him out and lay him flat on his back.
Well, he comes in quite a few times for Pete Kugler, because Pete Kugler gets tired in the third, fourth quarter.
Number 31 on the offense. Second down.
Well, that was fairly obvious, I guess, huh? When Ira has a violation, it is flagrant.
Well, he had 3 flags on top of his back, and I think there was no doubt about it. He was the guy that really tackled John Bunning. But give credit to the old crafty linebacker Bunning. He didn't take on Ira Albright. He knows he's too physical for him.
He wrestled him to the ground.
He played him off with his hands, and finally Ira Albright had to tackle him, and Ira Albright went to make his block anyway out there, and that time Bunning had the best of him.
So there's still a timeout on the field, and the whole Mauler offense has come off the field to the sideline again. We've seen this happen before. While there is a injury timeout on the field, Ofer being attended to. Jack, what's Ellis calling the whole offensive unit over?
Well, he may be telling him right now, this game is yours if you want to take it. You've got an opportunity, and you've been moving the football against the Stars the entire game. You got the ball down on the 30-yard line. You got an opportunity to put some points on the board. I think he's giving that whole offense, from the offensive line and running backs and wide receivers, giving them a little pep talk down there.
They are still down on the sideline right in front of head coach Ellis Rainsberger, as Ofer is assisted to the sideline and being carried, in fact, to the bench.
You know, if Chuck Nover would have done this when I was playing, he'd call our whole defense to the side, I'd have thought probably going to fire us. But I don't know. That's really unusual to see a team do that. And the Maulers have done that a few times this season, and hopefully it'll have a good effect on the offense. They'll go in and score.
Well, when play is resumed here, the Maulers will have a second down and 18 following the holding penalty against Ira Albright. The line of scrimmage now the 29-yard line, and William Miller comes into the game. So the Maulers with their best receiver out of the backfield in William Miller. Al Kimachik, the tight end. They got Flowers and Anderson as the receivers. And Rosance now having taken all of his offensive teammates over to meet his head coach. Maybe they're just introducing everybody around. Is that possible? No.
Well, they may bring William Miller in here. There may be a quick trap, thinking pass on 2nd down and long. He may try to put William Miller in a quick trap inside, but he's lined up on the outside right now. It looks like he's going to run a route out of the backfield.
Here's a slot to the left. Donnie Hickman stood up and pointed something out to Tom Rosance in the defense immediately. So the veterans trying to help out the young quarterback, Rosance. They all come on the blitz. Rosance gets outside the pressure. Looking downfield. Throws the ball down the field. It is tipped away. Touchdown! Jackie Flowers. What a great catch. I thought somebody had gotten a hand on it. The defender was Jonathan Sutton, but Flowers put that ball away so quickly it disappeared from my eyes.
Jackie Flowers did an excellent job of not putting his hands up right away. Jonathan Sutton had excellent coverage. The Stars had an all-out blitz, but Tom Rosance with his quickness gets outside of the containment and delivers the football. And Jackie Flowers doesn't look up to the last second, so that the defender can't put his hands up, and he catches the ball for a touchdown.
And the Maulers now trying to press their lead even higher. Here's the extra point attempt by Schubert. It is up and good. And with exactly 6:21 to play third quarter, the Maulers lead the Philadelphia Stars 17-12. We'll be back. For station identification, this is the Pittsburgh Maulers Radio Network.
This is WAMO FM Pittsburgh.
So the Maulers drive at 47 yards, get the 29-yard touchdown pass to Jackie Flowers, and here come the Stars following the kick by Schubert. It's McCants to the 15, and he's driven back. As he reached the 17-yard line, it was knocked down by Jim Perryman, who continues to play outstandingly on the special teams.
Jim Perryman has made big plays time and time again covering kickstander. He's the guy going to the ball all the time. He and Craig Walls made that play down around the 17-yard line, but in a lot of the drives the Maulers have had in this whole football game, give Tom Rosance credit because of his quickness, getting outside the containment, biding extra time, and he's made a number of big plays to keep drives alive today, and that's why the Maulers are ahead 17-12.
In their 3 possessions here in the second half, Philadelphia has started its drives at the 18, the 10, and now the 17-yard line, all in Philly territory. Here's a screen pass for Kelvin Bryant. A flag goes down as Bryant goes down right at the line of scrimmage. An excellent play by Ron Freeman, who has been fooled by Bryant a few times, but not on that one. And I think we have a holding against Philadelphia to compound their problems. This crowd in stunned disbelief. Not only are the Stars trailing for one of the rare times in their nearly 2-year history, at home yet, where they're undefeated this year, 6-0, but they don't show any semblance of any order.
No, and Brad Oates that time is going to get called for a holding. He absolutely pulled down one of the Maulers, and it's a big decision right now because it was a no gain, and what the Maulers are going to do, whether to accept the penalty or just take it down.
Well, he started to walk it off, and now they hold it right at the line of scrimmage. I guess he just went after the flag. No, they're going to take the yardage, which is half the distance to the goal line, and back to Philadelphia is about their 8-yard line, Jack. So it'll be first down and 18.
Holding number 70 on the offense, a takedown, first down.
That is Brad Oates indeed, the 8-year veteran out of BYU, whose brother Bart Oates is the center.
And you got to give Ike Griffin a lot of credit. He's playing outstanding defensive end position. He came off that football, and he beat Brad Oates up the field. Brad Oates had nothing to do. He didn't want to get Fusina hurt again, and really pulled him down for the penalty.
Griffin, Reese, Troy Thomas, David Graham along the front, Kelvin Bryant wedging out about 3 yards, and that is it. Well, the Maulers are making it tough for that big offensive line to open up any holes. They have really played them head-to-head, very tough along the front line. And the Maulers' defensive line, which has not gotten the kind of penetration during the course of the year and during stages of this game, have made some of the key plays, however.
And without Sam Clancy in the lineup, that defensive line, particularly his third quarter, has done an excellent job. 2nd
and 15. Fusina back to his 5-yard line. Arches a long pass downfield. It's knocked away. A great defensive play by Mark Harper, who dived in front of the intended receiver, Harris, up around the 45-yard line. So it's 3rd down and 15, Philadelphia, and the Maulers defense just continues to play outstanding defense in the secondary.
And Mark Harper, give Mark Harper all the credit in the world. He's expecting help in the middle by Troy Thomas. Troy Thomas never got there helping him out on Harris, but Mark Harper had excellent position, and he drove on the football and broke it up. He didn't get the help he thought he was going to get, but he had excellent position.
Clancy in now on 3rd down, 3rd and 15. Sam used sparingly now with the ankle injury. Just rushing the passer on 3rd and long. Craig Wall's faking the blitz. Fusina, a little bit of pressure. And he arches a pass over the middle. It's caught at the 38. A great catch. What an outstanding catch by Scott Fitzke, who reached up with one hand to bring it in. Just shy of the 40-yard line, a first down, and I think he beat double coverage. Did he not, Jack?
That time he beat Troy Hill again. And there's also a flag that's been thrown. I'll have to check on the flag, but Troy Hill that time lined up at the corner position on a nickel back situation and just let the man beat him up over the top. He didn't. Once Fitzke beats him up the field, he's got to run with him, make sure that he before he gets help from the safety that he has some coverage. That time he had no coverage at all, had him beat by 3 or 4 yards.
26 yards on the completed pass, and the referee Bill Parkinson now talking about a penalty. It would appear, if it's assessed at all, it'll be against Pittsburgh, because they have not even made any indication of bringing it back. Here he is. Nope, it's against Philadelphia. I never heard it. I don't know if he even spoke.
It must be a dead ball foul, but Scott Fitzke made an excellent adjustment on the football. The ball was not thrown over his shoulder the way he was running. He turned back and made a good adjustment on the ball, caught it, and it must be a dead ball foul. Still a first down.
Yes, it is. They are walking it off from where Fitzke was tackled at the 39-yard line, and they are walking off a 15-yard penalty back to the 24. Now let's hear the referee. Speak, Bill. You're on.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 81 on the offense. It's first down and 25.
I didn't see Fitzke do anything other than get up and try to run with the football again.
He might have spiked the football, which may be one thing which you would call an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but I couldn't see it from here. I just saw him make an excellent catch right around the 38-yard line, and now they brought it back, and a big break for the Maulers.
What did you say earlier? Who cares? The bottom line is that Philly's walking backward, right? They've got 6 penalties now for 69 yards. So Philadelphia pulling a self-destructing act, one that we grew accustomed to during the course of the year on the part of the Maulers, who so often, when they were competitive in a game, made a fatal mistake. Personal foul or an offside or an interference. But tonight they have gotten their act together, playing the best game of the year all around, and particularly in light of the injuries. And it's Philadelphia making the mistakes.
And people like Ike Griffin doing an excellent job out there. Getting off the football, making big plays. Sam Clancy coming in on 3rd down. We got an opportunity to stop him over here. First down.
Here's the first down for Philadelphia at their own 24. And if you've seen it, dropping to pass. Some pressure again. Archie Reese has him around the ankle. Down he goes. And there's a flag down at the 12-yard line.
Sam, I think we'll decline this penalty. It's another holding penalty, but our defensive line is doing an excellent job of coming off the football. And I think another Mauler is down on the ground.
Ike Griffin is a man who finally put Fusina on the ground, and Archie Reese is being dragged up by the shoulder pads by Jesse Johnson. He got up very, very slowly.
Holding. But number 63 on the offense. The penalty is declined.
That's George Gilbert, offensive guard. And as you indicate, Jack, the Maulers elect to take the sack and not the penalty.
And they've got right now a 2nd down and about 2 miles right now. And if the Maulers just play good, sound defense, zone defense in the secondary, I think they'll make the Stars punt the football.
Philadelphia now, 2nd down and 37. Don't forget, the original chain is up at the 39-yard line. They got to get to their own 49 for a first down. And Fusina pops one over the middle to the 27 and immediately knocked down with Scott Fitzke as Mickey Sutton put a shoulder pad in him and drove him into the ground.
And the Maulers are doing a good job of playing that zone defense, giving the underneath route where they don't want to give that big play down to the midfield, which will give the Philadelphia a first down. That time they got the ball at the 28-yard line. Mickey Sutton coming on that zone defense really popped Scott Fitzke, and he almost gave up the football.
You know, in our pregame conversation, Jack and I visited the Philadelphia radio team of Vince Papale and Harry Donahue, and we were telling them all about the ills of the Maulers. We share a booth right next to them here, looking at the glass, and they glance over every once in a while, thinking we lied to them, telling them all about the Maulers' problems. They look like the best team they probably have seen all year. Here's Fusina throwing one downfield, and it's caught but shy of the first down. A very, very good catch by Harris, who came back for the ball. Herbert Harris, a first-year receiver out of Lamar, and Fusina is injured at the 15-yard line. He paid the price for that completion, but they are 2 yards shy of a first down.
The pressure came from Sam Clancy that time, playing just on third down situation, put pressure on Ficina, and it'll be fourth down and about 2, and we'll have to see what the Stars are going to do. But the trainers from the Philadelphia come rushing on the field immediately after Ficina goes down. They know how valuable a commodity he is to that football team.
Jack, it goes without saying that we never wish any ill will on any football player. But by golly, it's nice to see the Maulers knock the opposition around a little bit and see them get up a little groggy once in a while.
Yeah, our defensive line coming off the ball the way they are right now. Our secondary hitting people the way they did, Sutton did to Scott Fitzke the time before that. That's good, sound defense, aggressive defense, and the Maulers are playing probably the best they have the entire season.
Sean Landetta back at the 32-yard line. He is punting to Mark Harper. And Landetta gets off an end-over-end punt. At about the 20, Harper signals for the fair catch, actually inside the 20, at about the 16-yard line. He's got a nice pair of hands, and he has become the primary punt returner on this ball club after the Maulers went through a half a dozen earlier in the year. But they have the ball back again, and they have the lead at 17-12. A reminder, there will be a shootout at Three River Stadium on Monday night, June 11th, 8 o'clock, when the Maulers host the Western Division San Antonio Gunslingers. It's Vanguard seat cushion night. And the first 7,500 in attendance will receive a colorful Mauler seat cushion, compliments of Vanguard Real Estate, the official realtor of the Pittsburgh Maulers. Well, what do you think of this series, Jack? Back at your own 16-yard line.
I think we'll continue to do what we've been doing, especially have Tom Rosance roll out when he wants to throw the football. When they blitzed him, he got outside of containment. When they get pressure from just the 4 people, he also has gotten outside. He's made big plays. I think we're going to do it again.
And the crowd starting to get into the game. They're really getting pumped up now. They have been sitting on their hands for much of this night. Sam Mills trying to get the defense fired up, and they do the job on first down. There's absolutely nothing there for the ball carrier, who I believe was Ira Albright. His first carry, or was it Rozier? I guess Rozier, and now Mike hobbles toward the sideline, and Walter Holman replaces him. Rozier walking very gingerly. Albright was the ball carrier, and they tried to cross up Philadelphia, but to no avail.
I didn't see how Mike got hurt on that play, but he's limping off the field right now. He's the eye back. I wouldn't even think he's involved in the contact at all with Ira Albright getting the football, but hopefully he'll be back in the game.
Second down and 9. William Miller and Walter Holman in the backfield, and Rosance gives to Holman, and he squirms off his own right tackle across the 20 to the 22-yard line. It'll be third down and at least 6 now for Pittsburgh to keep the ball. And this crowd, although we haven't got an official count, estimated to be somewhere near 30,000, trying to get Philadelphia aroused.
I think third down and 5 or 6 what we have right now. Here's where you'll see Tom Rosance rolling out a little bit. You're going to get away from the rush. You're going to try to get outside that containment, try to use that foot speed, and maybe if there's nobody open downfield, he may run with the football.
Under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Pittsburgh 17, Philadelphia 12. And the Maulers can't even hear the count. And so Scott Burris goes back and asks the referee, this is a timeout, and it's charged to the Maulers. So it was Rosance who apparently couldn't get the signal straight or his play calling, and he had to use his second timeout. That is a very valuable commodity, and in a tight football game, the Maulers have now wasted 2 here in the third quarter.
That's inexperience in a quarterback. What he should do is come to the line of scrimmage and tell the official he cannot call out his signals. He cannot have his wide receivers hear the snap count, and the official would call a timeout. We wasted 2 timeouts here in the second half, and they may come back to haunt us later in the football game.
Again, our airtime next Monday night will be 7:40 here on the Maulers Radio Network for the San Antonio Gunslingers as they come to Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Philadelphia now making some defensive changes, and the crowd again starting to get back into the game, and they're standing up in the end zone.
Well, they know right now the crowd's starting to get to Tom Rosance a little bit. He's talking to the official right now. What he should do is come to the line of scrimmage very quickly and run the play. If you run a successful play, that's one thing that'll quiet the crowd down in a hurry.
And one thing, too, that needs to be said is that even though the Stars run a 3-4 defense, the Maulers' offensive line has blocked, or at least pass protected, fairly well. Rosance, of course, rolls out a great deal, which makes it a bit easier if you know which way he's going.
It's always good to have a quarterback who's got good foot speed, good quickness back here. He'll get away from the rush a lot of times.
This crowd now, many of them on their feet, And they are shouting very loudly, trying to disturb the cadence of Tom Rosance. On 3rd down and 6, Miller in motion. And Rosance turns and gives the ball to Walter Holman. He breaks off a tackle to about the 27-yard line, and it depends on the placement. He may be just a wee bit shy of the first down, unless, of course, the official gives him a good spot, and I believe he did.
Sam, I think the official gave him a great spot.
Yes, he did.
An outstanding spot, because I thought he was about a half a yard short of the first down. That's a big first down for the Maulers.
Wow, was that ever. Walter Holman running for the first down, and that quiets the crowd in a hurry. And we are now under 1.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, and the Maulers have weathered a very big storm, forcing Swider to punt from deep in his own end. Now the crowd coming alive again. This Philly team is not accustomed to being behind. Holman again for 5 yards, up to the 32-yard line.
And that's it. Tom Rosance did a smart thing there. The crowd was starting to get into it a little bit. He came to the line of scrimmage on a quick count and got the play off 5 or 6 yards in the play. A smart call by Tom Rosance.
Under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Pittsburgh 17. The Philadelphia Stars 12. A 13-1 football team entering this game. 15-3 last year. Lost in the championship game to Michigan 24-22, and considered by most to be the best team in the league. And the Maulers have him down by 5 at home. Rosance giving to Holman on the sweep. And he knocked one man down, and he carried the ball out of bounds at the 34. He stayed on his feet despite a good hit at the line of scrimmage, and Don Fielder is the man who finally got him out of bounds.
Don Fielder did a good job of coming down the line of scrimmage, but that whole Philadelphia defense came off the football. A real good pursuit. I think that's why the reverse we ran earlier for a big play by Jackie Flowers was an effective play, because this Philadelphia team sometimes on defense over pursues.
I ran into Hank Bulla during halftime as we both dashed for the men's room, and I said, well, how do you like your new team? And he said, I love that field goal. I love that field goal. So Bulla really into it, and I understand he's no pleasure to be with here watching a football game from the press box. Here's Rosance on a quick count, throwing on 3rd down, and it is complete at the 39-yard line. And that'll be very close to a first down. Catching the ball was William Miller. He was dropped immediately by Sam Mills, and another Pittsburgh first down. And 3rd down conversions, after I made a big deal about him in the 1st quarter when they went 0 for 3, I think they've converted probably 80% of the 3rd down since then.
And William Miller coming out of the backfield, he's our guy we want to go to on 3rd and 5. Swing hook right beyond the first down yard marker, got the first down. Excellent play by William Miller.
And we have come to the end of the 3rd quarter here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Surprise, surprise, everybody. If you just joined us, the Pittsburgh Maulers lead the Philadelphia Stars 17-12. We'll be back with the 4th quarter action after this. And Jack Ham back at the event in Philadelphia. We've got 1 quarter left in regulation time, and the Maulers with a 5-point lead. They have just picked up 2 successive first downs, and very impressive ones, not only in light of a great Philadelphia defense, but a crowd that came alive.
And what they've really been doing is executing. The whole offense is doing a good job. Offensive line of protecting for Tom Rosance. This time a swing hook to William Miller right past the first down yard marker. Time before that, a run by William Miller. They got the first down.
So here they come out of it again. They've got a first down at their own 40-yard line. Miller and Holman in the backfield. Rozier hurt himself, but he's being attended to. It may be a knee injury. Rosance, play action, now has to run for his life. All the way back at his 25-yard line. He can run. He throws the ball out of bounds. Rosance has got great foot speed. He's got great quickness more than anything else. And it's going to take a great defensive rush and a lot of pressure and a great deal of speed to sack him. And he threw the ball wisely into the Maulers bench, an incompleted pass.
If there's one difference between Tom Rosance and Glenn Carano, and their arm-wise are probably comparable, and if Tom Rosance gets the experience, he can probably, as a leader, he'll probably be about the same, but he's a little bit quicker, and he can get away from the rush a little bit better, and he can do roll-out passing, can be a lot big part of our offense.
Rozier re-injured his left ankle. He will have x-rays taken, and he will not return to this game. Here is a hole through the middle for William Miller to the 50-yard line. William Miller just darting through a hole in the middle, got it up to the 50-yard line, and another Pittsburgh Mauler first down. And the Maulers continue to move the sticks.
This reminds me of the same drive they ran last week against Washington in the 4th quarter, but that was against the Washington Federals. This time they're doing it against the Philadelphia Stars, the best defense in the league, giving up only 11 points per game, and the Maulers are doing a good job of just pushing them off the line of scrimmage.
Well, I may have been a bit premature. They have asked for a measurement here. And they bring the sticks on and stretch them out, and they indicate a Pittsburgh first down. So I was premature, but I was right. And our big play sweepstakes contestant this quarter, Mrs. Paul Schleiermacher of Berkeley Avenue in Pittsburgh. Also rooting for a Mauler touchdown on a play of 40 yards or more. A $50 shopping spree at Foodland and 2 tickets to the Maulers game, the next home game. From the 50-yard line, first minute, fourth quarter, Pittsburgh 17, Philadelphia 12. High formation. Miller behind Ira Albright for 4 yards to the 46 of Philadelphia, and Albright and George Cooper on every play, Jack. On every play are banging each other around, and they give each other a swat on the helmet after the play is dead.
The reason that, and I played defense for a long time, is Ira Albright will not quit. He'll continue to block somebody all day long. He's right into George Cooper, who, like I said, is having an outstanding year. He got right into George Cooper, much stronger than George, and really took him down the line of scrimmage and enabled William Miller to get good yardage on first down.
And he sustains that block for 4 or 5 seconds. Second down and 6. Albright still the up back. Here's the pitch to Miller behind Ira, and he cuts it in and knocked down to the 45, and that time they whacked Ira down real good, and he is slow getting up. Albright is hurt. The first man in made contact with Albright and knocked him down, and Ira being attended to. The gain was for a yard. It'll be third down and 5, and somebody really whacked Ira down. I think they double teamed him that time. They saw him coming.
Well, Antonio Gibson is a strong safety. That is Ira Albright's responsibility. He's got to knock off the contained man, and Antonio Gibson coming up the line of scrimmage really cuts down Ira Albright. And I'm not sure if he didn't hurt his knee or his leg or whatever. He's down on the ground, and if Ira Albright is down on the ground, you know he's hurt. And just as I say that, he's up on his feet.
Yeah, but he's going to be helped from the sideline.
It is his leg. It's his leg. I think it's his right leg or right knee. And all the defensive backs and linebackers since the first quarter have been trying to cut Ira Albright all day. And Ira Albright has done a pretty good job of falling on most of those people. But that time, I think Antonio Gibson, the strong safety, cut his legs out from underneath him. And I think Ira Albright is done for the day.
And he's in some pain, too. It'll be third down and 5 now for the Maulers. It was a pitch to Miller running to his right, and Albright had 2 guys to contend with. And he went down. Actually, nobody hit him. He went down by himself. And he tried to throw a block at an invisible tackler.
Sam, that has happened time and time again. I know Charlie Wallace from the Dallas Cowboys blew out his knee on artificial turf. No one really hit him. He just trying to run on the artificial turf, caught a seam, and tore ligaments in his knee. And looking at the monitor on the replay, you're right. Ira Albright didn't really hit anybody. He tripped on the seam probably around the 40 or 45-yard line. No one hit him, and he went down.
So there is a timeout on the field now at the 45-yard line of Philadelphia. The Maulers talking over their offensive strategy, and Philadelphia obviously doing the same thing defensively. And with each passing game, the Maulers continue to lose some players to injury. Rozier, we don't know what his status is. Durden went out for a while early in the ball game. Clancy re-injured his ankle.
And Sam, they're looking on the monitor. They're checking Ira Albright's ankle right now. They're tending to his ankle, and maybe a situation if they can tape it up, he might be able to get back in a football game. If there's any way Ira Albright can play, he'll be back in.
Rosance on 3rd and 5 to pass. Heat coming in, throws the ball wide open as Anderson at the 30-yard line. It's a first down. And he turned the cornerback Garcia Lane around, and Rosance put the ball right on the money, and it was a tough throw for him. He had some people in his face, and it wasn't what you would call a rifle shot, but he got it to Anderson.
Well, he got it there, and George Cooper coming, the 2 outside linebackers blitzing on the play, trying to make things happen. He saw George Cooper coming from out of the corner of his eye, but still delivered the football, and that was a big play.
15 yards of big play to the 30-yard line of Philadelphia. How about the Maulers tonight? Anderson is to the left. Pro set backfield with Holman and Miller. They're down to their last backs. Miller, stop, goes outside and squirms for 4 yards. Great effort by Miller. You know, there's some people who don't think he's getting his proper due, and rightfully so. Jack, you and I have both said on the broadcast many times that Rozier's a guy who's got to be in there. and we've been outspoken in different areas about it. And I'm sure fans of William Miller are a little bit upset because all the kid did is go out and gain 268 yards in 3 games and run the daylights out of the football. And you've got to say the nice things about him. He doesn't seem to have the natural physical skills that Rozier does, but he's getting the job done.
And he's giving 110% out there all the time, and he's played well. But Mike Rozier is the outstanding running back. When he's healthy, he's the player.
2nd and 3, or rather 2nd and 7. Holman outside, and there's nothing there. He was by himself, and a flag is down. He took the free safety Mike Lush on one-on-one, or I should say Lush took him on one-on-one. They butted heads, and Holman went down right at the line of scrimmage. But there may be a holding call here against the Maulers.
There could be a holding. What happens when anytime you run a play to the weak side, the free safety is unaccounted for. That's why Mike Wagner was able to make so many tackles for the Steelers. If you read well...
What was his name again? What was that guy's name?
A guy named Mike Wagner.
Wagner.
But if you read well from your free safety position, if you read run and all your right keys, you can come up there and make a lot of plays. And Mike Lush came from that free safety position and probably stopped him right at the line of scrimmage.
Number 61 on the offense. 2nd down.
So the penalty is walked off 10 yards. Donnie Hickman, the offensive guard, for holding, one of the rare instances in which the Maulers have been penalized in this game. They have played not only error-free, but almost penalty-free football. 3 penalties, 25 yards. Well, we can live with that, can't we? Here's Rosance now giving to Miller on the sweep. 35 to the 32-yard line as they tried to fool the Philadelphia defense, but Antonio Gibson got over to stop the play. So they ran the ball on 2nd and 17, and they'll now have 3rd down and considerable yardage to keep the ball. They are presumably within field goal range for Eric Schubert, and a field goal here would give them an 8-point lead and force Philadelphia to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to send this game into overtime.
There's no question about it. It's very important that we get points out of here, but the 2 safeties from the Philadelphia Stars do an excellent job of supporting run, both Antonio Gibson and Mike Lush.
Under 11:45 to play in the 4th quarter. Here's Rosance. Now a little bit of pressure. They got him, and down he goes out of field goal range.
Oh.
Boy, did he take a bad sack there. Rosance back at the 44-yard line. Don Fielder, the youngster out of Kentucky, along with Pete Kugler, had the pressure on, and Rosance that time made a rookie mistake. He took himself out of field goal range and did not deliver the ball in the sideline somewhere.
Or at least just throw the football anywhere on the field, ground it in the ground, down the field, anywhere near somebody. But that time he had pressure on both sides. He had nowhere to run with the football that time. He got a little impatient and just took the sack.
So Swider will have to punt the ball from his 40-yard line, and he's kicking to Garcia Lane. Good snap from center, and here is the punt by Swider. It's a line drive. Lane goes over to field the ball at the 10, the 15. He skipped through a hole to the 20, and he almost got away. He was dragged down to the 29-yard line. A very bad punt by Swider. Very poor. McAdoo made the saving tackle. Swider had the whole field to punt to, and he just hit a line drive right down the center. And he almost gave Garcia Lane a chance to go 85 yards with it. As it was, he got 11 on the return.
Sam, in that situation, you cannot let Garcia Lane catch the football. You got to put it out of bounds, try for the coffin corner. Don't put the football in his hands.
So there's a break in the action. We'll return to the vet in Philadelphia right after this. Got nothing out of that drive. They kept the football for 6 minutes, 23 seconds, Jack, and holding the ball for 2 drives in excess of 6 minutes against Philadelphia here in the second half has really put them in good stead. The give is to Kelvin Bryant running off his own left tackle, and he gets to the 35-yard line, stopped by Ernest Adams. It isn't very often you can sustain a couple of drives against Philadelphia.
Our offense line did a good job. The running backs, especially William Miller in that situation, was really running very, very hard. The sack by Tom Rosance really hurt that time. We were in Eric Schubert's range.
Good news, Doug Holly back in the game. Ira Albright, an ankle injury. He may return. Here's Philadelphia now with the football and trailing by 5. They really avoided a bullet there. And Fusina stepped up in the pocket. He'll do some running. 35 to the 39-yard line. He's very close to a Philadelphia first down. The end of the sticks at about the 40, I think, Jack.
And he showed some quickness that time, looking upfield. He got the first down. He saw they had an opening up the middle and went with it. Ike Griffin is out of the football game right now. He came off limping a little bit. Hopefully he'll be back in the game, but I'm looking at him on the sideline. He's limping very, very badly, and I'm not sure if he'll be back in. He's played exceptional football this entire game.
So now the Philadelphia offense trying to get pumped up. They trail here 17-12 in the fourth quarter. Tight end is Steve Folsom, lined up on the left side. The pro set backfield with David Riley and Kelvin Bryant, and Fitzke goes in motion. Here's play action pass. Fusina looking downfield, has all day. Throws a long one down here, and it is broken up. It was underthrown, and an excellent defensive play by Mickey Sutton again. Intended for Kelvin Bryant, but Sutton got over to break it up.
Well, that's the adjustment we're trying to make. We're having Mickey Sutton guard a little bit on Kelvin Bryant, and what Fusina is doing, rolling out to his right and trying to throw back against the grain. Mickey Sutton has time to come over the top and make the play. If Fusina had a little stronger arm, he would have got the football right to him. Ike Griffin looks like he's back in the football game. He's a lot healthier, and Troy Thomas is coming out.
Second down and 10 now. Philadelphia right at its own 40-yard line. And Fitzke again comes to the left, and they go on a quick count. The inside handoff to Bryant. 45 to the 50, and he's got a first down for Philadelphia. Tackle made by Jesse Johnson, the strong safety, and Bryant trying to get his team pumped up. He and Irv Eatman exchanging high fives, and so Philadelphia now knows they are in a war here at the vet, trailing the Maulers by 5. Willie Collier, and he got about 4 yards as he reached the 46-yard line of the Pittsburgh Maulers. Ron Freeman instrumental in making the stop there. It'll be second down and 6 now for Philadelphia. But they're getting good yardage on every play, Jack.
And Kelvin Bryant looks like he's getting stronger and stronger right now. He's leaving the football game, but he took about 4 or 5 hits, gained 4 or 5 yards on the play. He refused to go down, and he's a fourth quarter player.
75 yards and 20 carries for Kelvin Bryant. He's been an outstanding performer in this game. He's caught some long passes as well. Here's Riley for a change of pace. Bounces off one man. 40 to 35, the 30, the 25, and he's brought down from behind by Mickey Sutton at the 21-yard line. A great run by David Riley, who was cut by the Steelers a couple of years ago. And he showed a great nose for the hole.
And one more time, our defense is the job of over-pursuing. We've got to make sure that the backside makes containment over there. Our right outside linebacker, Ron Freeman, has got to stay home. He didn't do it that time. Riley broke it to the outside, made a big play down to the 21-yard line.
24 yards on the jaunt by the former West Virginia running back. And now Philadelphia is in business at the 21. Here's Fusina, and a great defensive play by Crosby, who had diagnosed the give to Alan Harvin, and he was there when the handoff occurred, and Harvin loses 3. Now that's the kind of veteran leadership you need.
And that was an all-out blitz. Good call by Joe Herring that time. Ron Crosby takes the inside on a tight end, takes the inside gap, gets up the field, and makes the play. And that's a big play by Ron Crosby. And now they got second down and 13, I guess, on a 24-yard line.
From the 24-yard line, we are under 7 minutes to play in regulation. It is second down, 14, Philadelphia, and Fusina back to pass. His protection holding up. Throws one over the middle, and it is incomplete. And good coverage that time by Jerry Holmes, who followed the intended receiver across the field, Tom Donovan. And he really chased him across the field.
Sam, you got to give all the credit in the world to our secondary today. They've done an outstanding job. Jerry Holmes, our right cornerback, is covering Tom Donovan. Tom Donovan ran the play on the other side of the field. That means Fusina had all day to throw the football. But Jerry Holmes broke it up on the far sideline. That's too much time for Fusina to throw the ball.
Well, our guess was pretty good. We figured about 30,000 in the building. How many you think are here? 30,000. 30,102 to be exact. And they're watching Philadelphia in a shocker, trailing the Maulers by 5. 3rd and 14. Here's an all-out blitz on Fusina. He got rid of the ball, and it's caught at the 14. But that will be shy of a first down. The pass was complete to Willie Collier, the University of Pittsburgh product, but they come up 3 yards shy of a first down. What do you do, Jack Ham?
Sam, it's going to be a big call by Jim Moore on the sidelines, down by 5 points. It's 4th down and about 3, and we'll have to wait and see, but I think he's probably going to go for it.
They have called a timeout to talk it over. 6:35 to play in regulation time. The Maulers 17, the Stars 12, but driving. We'll be back. Philadelphia head coach Jim Mora has made his decision, and his decision, Jack, is to go for a field goal. Surprised?
Well, I think he's has a lot of confidence in his defense that once they kick off again, that they will stop the Maulers and get the football back You have 6 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the game. He feels that's enough time. And what he's trying to say is that I have a lot of confidence in my defense. They'll do the job for me, and we'll get the ball back for Fusina.
David Trout will attempt the field goal for the third time tonight. This will be from the 21-yard line. Tim Reardon, the rookie quarterback out of Temple, will spot the ball at the 21. It'll be an attempt of 31. Trout is 2 for 2. Here's a placement. The kick by Trout is up, and it is good. And so Philadelphia draws ever closer. 31-yard field goal. The drive 56 yards. They took nearly 4.5 minutes off the clock, but they still trail the Maulers 17-15. We'll be back with the Philadelphia kickoff in just a moment. Sam Nover and Jack Ham back at the vet in Philadelphia. We have 6:32 to play in regulation time following the field goal. Here's David Trout with a line drive kick. Mark Harper at the 5, the 10, the 15, to the 20. And he's down to the 22-yard line as they used Harper that time instead of William Miller, but a flag is also down. Miller, of course, now having to see more and more action from scrimmage. And we'll have to hold it right here and see what this penalty is all about. Apparently, it's against Pittsburgh. And so they will begin in very bad field position. And, Jack, in a season of 3-11, I think it is safe to say this may be the most important series of the year for the Pittsburgh Maulers. They have a chance to beat the best team in the league. And this is the series that will determine it.
And this penalty right now, which is take the football from the 22-yard line back to the 11, is a big penalty right now.
During the return, illegal block above the waist and behind, the 55, first down.
In the passing department, Roseanne's 11 for 16, 146 yards in the ball game, as compared to Chuck Fusina, 13 of 21 for 224. So Fusina's had a pretty good night. I think his stats are a little more inflated than I would have believed, although he hit Bryant Riley on a couple of long ones, or Bryant, both of them, in fact. Here we go. The Maulers, big series. If they want to come back to Pittsburgh with a victory over Philadelphia, they're going to have to do something here. Play action, Roseanne's. Delivers the ball out in the right flat. It's caught at the 17-yard line by Al Kimachik, the tight end, and I love it. I love it. Throwing it on first down.
That's an excellent call. Right before that, I was going to say, I hope Ellis Rainsberger does not get conservative down here, because we got to move the football and get points. We can't sit on it right here. It was a good call, play action pass. It's just too bad Al Kimachik didn't stay in bounds and get upfield a little bit more, but there was some daylight there.
Just the 6th reception of the year for the infrequently used tight end from Michigan State, Al Kimachik, but a pretty big play right there. 2nd down and 4. Maulers at their own 17-yard line. Miller and Holman in the backfield. Here's William Miller. He's got daylight, and he cut back and he was tackled. He had the first down, but he elected to try to get more, and Sutton drove him down at the 18.
Sam, when you got a chance to get that first down, you got to make that play. You got to turn it back inside. And William Miller is not a physical running back. That's why he decided to try to use his quickness and go outside. The Stars did a good job of containing him there. Now it's a big 3rd down and about 2.5, I guess.
3rd down, a little more than a 2 at the 19-yard line. Pittsburgh leading Philadelphia 17-15. Heading for the 5.5-minute mark left in the 4th quarter. Here's Roseance to throw it. Throws one out on the left flat, and it's dropped by William Miller. Although in all honesty, I don't believe he would have gotten anything. Philadelphia had it diagnosed. They were setting up a little flare screen out in the flat for Miller, and he just dropped the ball, Jack, but I don't know if he would have gotten anything, although that's only conjecture.
Sam, he had 2 offensive linemen out in front of him, but the Philadelphia Stars did a good job of reacting to it. But what he has to do is catch the football. 2 really mental errors by William Miller in the last 2 plays, not turning it upfield for the first down, and now dropping the ball out in the flat. Now we have to punt the football away.
Garcia Lane at his 40-yard line, awaiting his punt from Larry Swider. Swider at his 5, and they're looking like they're coming for the block here. Good snap. They pull back, and Swider with a good spiral. Lane at the 40. Misses 2 tacklers. He's in the midfield at the 45, the 40, 35, to the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, and he's out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Garcia Lane. Well, he almost broke one last time, and that time he did. $40 yards on the punt by Swider. 51 on the return by Garcia Lane. The only good thing about it is that he went out of bounds at the 9.5-yard line, so they're at the maximum distance, having to get it in the end zone without being able to get a first down. That's the only good thing I can say about it.
That is the worst place you'd want to have the football, trying to punch it in, but Johnny Dearden came so close to getting Garcia Lane down there right around the 40-yard line when he caught the football. Special teams, again, is a big part of this football game. In close games, that's what wins and loses football games for you. And Garcia Lane is a big player for him.
So here we go. Philadelphia now with the game on the line. They don't turn it over too much. Boy, now would be a dandy opportunity if they want to be generous. Here's a give to Kelvin Bryant to the 5, and he's still on his feet. I thought I heard a whistle. I think some of the Maulers stopped too. He got it to the 4-yard line. It just seemed like they stopped for a moment, like everything was in slow motion.
One guy that didn't stop was Kelvin Bryant. He took that ball down around inside the 4-yard line, and right now the Philadelphia Stars are in control. If they can punch this one in, they're going to take the lead, but the special teams and that punt return by Garcia Lane is really the thing that set it up.
From the 4-yard line, it is 2nd down and goal to go. They got Kelvin Bryant in the backfield, along with David Riley, and that big offensive line, 2 tight ends. Ken Donick along with Steve Folsom for blocking. They've got a wing to the right. And here's a pitch to Kelvin Bryant, trying to get outside, and he didn't get it. Good play by Adams, and who else but Mickey Sutton. And they drive him out of bounds at the 5.
Excellent defense by Sutton and Adams coming off the line of scrimmage. Mickey Sutton is playing his heart out there. He's done an excellent job the last 4 or 5 weeks, covering people upfield, making plays on the running game. He's just turning into an excellent, strong safety, and has played well.
Philadelphia now bringing some receivers on. They tried to run it in. They couldn't do that in 2 downs. So now they're going to have to open the offense a little bit. Collier's in there. Fitzky's in there. Getting off the field is Griffin. Here's a quick count. Fusina trying to get a free play. Throws it in the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. To Willie Collier. And I think the Maulers simply got confused, Jack.
They were, and he also has a penalty on the play of too many men on the field. One Mauler did not get off the field in time, and it's a big play for the Stars, and they take the lead.
Fusina to Willie Collier, 5 yards. And Philadelphia has the lead again. And apparently they're going to go for 2 here. It is 21-17 Philadelphia following the touchdown pass from Fusina to Collier. Albright was late getting off, Ike Griffin late getting off the field, and the Maulers looked a little bit confused, and Fusina took advantage of it. Here they go for 2. They tried it earlier and failed. Bryant is alone set back, and Fusina back to pass again. Throws it in the end zone. It's caught for the 2-point conversion. And a penalty flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Jack, you see what went wrong there?
It might be just pass interference against the Maulers. He may pick this one up, and it's going to be a good conversion. And for the last 2 plays, we had some substitution problems, and we'll have to wait and see with the officials. But it looked like on that play there was some pass interference, and it looks like the 2-point conversion will stand up.
Philadelphia has already gone back to its sideline, and so the 2 points will be allowed. And it's a 23-17 football game at the moment. Philadelphia's 2-point conversion. So the Maulers now with exactly 3 minutes and 50 seconds of regulation time. And obviously with a 6-point difference, unless we had a touchdown and a missed extra point, this game will not be determined in overtime, Jack.
And right now Tom Roseanne is going to be in position. He's been in time and time again when he took over for Glenn Carano a couple times in the football games prior to this. Being behind and trying to get a touchdown or a field goal to get back in the football game, he has got to move his team probably 80 yards, because I'm sure Dave Trout will probably put that ball into the end zone against the best defense in the league, and it's going to be a tough task for Tom Roseanne.
So the key play in this game now obviously becomes Garcia Lane's 50-yard punt return. They got Philadelphia inside the 10-yard line to start that series. And to Fusina's credit, when he saw that having brought in some receiving replacements on 3rd down and goal from the 5, that the Maulers looked confused, he wasted no time. He got the quick snap and went with it.
And the Maulers probably thought inside the 5-yard line they're going to try to power the football in. We didn't get our people in. When they went 3 wide receivers, we didn't get the great substitution in the football game. When you have that kind of confusion out there, you're very hesitant what you want to do, and they made the conversion for the touchdown.
Well, if Rosance can keep his cool, he's got plenty of time to march it down the field. 3:50 is an eternity, although they have only 1 timeout left. David Trout is kicking the ball to Mark Harper, and he lets fly with this one. He knocks it out of the field of play. So it'll be from the 20-yard line. No time off the clock because nobody touched the ball. So the Maulers will begin at their 20. They are 80 yards away, perhaps, from a winning score in this game, and they have played so strongly and so diligently tonight and demonstrated such heart in light of all the injuries and all the misfortune. It'll be a shame to lose this, and it isn't over yet.
No, you're right. They have played their hearts out. They've played well against the quality football teams throughout the league. They played Michigan very, very well up in Michigan at the beginning of the year when Michigan had all their players healthy and played them right down to the wire, and they're doing the same thing here, maybe for a winning score.
Flowers, Dearden, and Greg Anderson, the wide receivers. William Miller and Walter Holman in the backfield. Here they go on a quick count in Philadelphia, coming on the rush. Rosance stepping up in the pocket. It's complete at the 30-yard line of Flowers. He fumbles the ball, and Philadelphia has it. One of the rare instances of Jackie Flowers not being able to hold on to a football. He's got the greatest hands in the world, and he was trying to run for additional yardage. And it so often happens when you're fighting to get yourself free, the ball just simply came loose, and nobody's more dejected than Jackie Flowers.
No, he made a big play. Tom Rosance steps up in the pocket, gets away from the rush, and Jackie Flowers, finding the open area in the field, comes back to the football, carrying in his left hand, and Jonathan Sutton just strips the ball, whacks at his left hand, and just strips him of the football, and just recovers it right before he goes out of bounds.
So from the 31-yard line, Philadelphia has the ball and the lead. See whether if you've seen it goes on top right away to put the game out of reach. He gives it to Kelvin Bryant, cutting it back at the 30, and he stretches out to the 28-yard line. Kelvin Bryant running with the football for about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Ernest Adams, who's played very well. You could name, virtually 3/4 of the roster who played well tonight. Played very, very well for the Maulers.
This defense has really hung in there. They've played extremely well, especially in the 3rd quarter, really coming off the football and getting pressure on Chuck Vicina. And something they didn't get in the first half, it's that big punt return where somehow, some way, quality football teams find a way to win. The Philadelphia Stars have not played well today, but they obviously look like they're playing well enough to win. 2nd
down and 7. Willie Collier, who caught the go-ahead touchdown pass, is split to the right. And to the left is Harris. And the give on the ground, David Riley for about 2 or 3 yards as he reaches the 26-yard line. And Philadelphia working on the clock under 2.5 minutes. They do not have to run another play to the 2-minute warning, Jack. So we will reach that 2-minute warning with Philadelphia having a 6-point lead on the football, and a 3rd down and 5 at the Mauler 26-yard line. 2:12, 2:11, and they'll count it right down. And certainly Fusina now, who is already headed over to the Philadelphia bench, and his head coach Jim Mora will not run another play. So we've reached the 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia with the score: the Stars 23, the Maulers 17. We'll be back after this.
Tri-State Mechanical Service Incorporated presents Gotcha number 17, the out-of-town breakdown.
Hello, I bought a new car from you folks, and, well, it broke down.
I'm sorry. Just bring it in any weekday between...
Well, see, it has to be towed over 40 miles.
I'm sorry. Your new car warranty may only cover a portion of that towing charge.
Well, I may need a car to get around in while...
I'm sorry. Your new car warranty doesn't cover rental reimbursement.
Oh.
New car warranties are fine up to a point, but today you need the extended protection you get from Tri-State Mechanical Services. Tri-State covers your car's engine, transmission, drive axle, electrical systems, and more for up to 5 years or 65,000 miles. Plus, you get towing and car rental reimbursement.
Well, look, I may be hung up for a few days here in, where are we?
I'm sorry. Your new car warranty doesn't cover travel expenses.
Tri-State even covers food and lodging. Get automotive peace of mind. Look for the quality dealer that offers Tri-State's extended warranty program. Tri-State Mechanical Service Incorporated. We've got you covered. A division of Frank B. Fuhrer Holdings Incorporated.
So exactly 2 minutes left here in the football game, or at least in regulation time, in Philadelphia finally in this death struggle with the Maulers. And Jack, as you pointed out during the timeout, off microphone, the great teams find a way to win, and I can remember the days the Steelers didn't exactly play artistic masterpieces, but they found a way to win in the end. And I don't know if Philadelphia is a great team, but by the standards of the USFL, they certainly are. And they have found a way here to apparently win a football game when they were on the ropes.
And most people say, well, you were lucky to win the game, and they may say that today, but good teams find a way to do that. They make their own luck out there, and they made the big play, especially that punt return by Garcia Lane.
3rd down and 5 at the Mauler 26, and you've seen a play-action pass. Now rolling out to his right. Throws it downfield, and it is caught and dropped at the 8-yard line. They had the first down, but Folsom couldn't hang on, and Mickey Sutton was chasing him all over the field, and he gave away about 8 inches in height to the big tight end Steve Folsom. So on 4th down, David Trout now will have to attempt the field goal. And that's, I would think, the best thing that could happen to the Maulers at this point. You can try the all-out block, and if you can block it and get the ball in and recover the ball, then you've got obviously some pretty good field position. But if Trout nails this, it's all over.
There's no question, because if we do score a touchdown with a 2-point conversion, we only get 25 and still be a point short. So if he makes his field goal, it really would probably ice the game for the Stars.
He's 3 for 3 tonight from the 33-yard line. An attempt at 43. Here's a placement. The kick by Trout is up, and it is no good. So he keeps the Maulers in the game. David Trout, it's an adventure every time he hits the ball. I remember from his Steeler days.
Sam, I'm never going to leave for the locker room show, because in the last 2 minutes, so many things have happened in the football game with the Maulers where we had an opportunity to gain that we were really out of. And all of a sudden, we're back into it. An onside
Don't you
kick.
worry. Giordano will fill till you're ready to go.
We still have an opportunity right now. And I'd love to see Jackie Flowers redeem himself and make some big catches and move his football down for the winning score.
Yes, sir. The Stars are not out of the woods yet. The Maulers are 74 yards away from a victory. They begin this drive at their own 26-yard line. They get a reprieve as Trout misses the field goal. His first miss of the day. It is 23-17 Philadelphia. 1 timeout left, and Roseanne's back to pass. Throws the ball on the near sideline. It's overthrown. Intended for Flowers into the bench, and a penalty marker, and it's a personal foul against Philadelphia. That's a 15-yard gain, roughing the passer, I believe.
Sam, Philadelphia has really made a lot of mental errors today that really cost them yardage and big plays. That time, Tom Roseanne threw the ball in about the first row of the bleachers. No chance of reception. But one of the Philadelphia defensive linemen roughed the kicker, Tom Roseanne, and now we have a first down on the 41-yard line.
Roughing the passer, number 67. A blow to the head. First down.
That's your buddy, Mr. Kugler. 7 penalties, 84 yards against the Philadelphia Stars in this ball game. So from the 41 now. 59 yards away from a victory. 1:45 to play and 1 timeout left. And Roseanne's got to be loving the challenge here. He has performed very well. Here's a delay to Holman for about 5, 8, 9, stretches out to the 48-yard line. He got about 8 yards. I gave him 1 too many. So it's 2nd down and 2. The element of surprise, and he called 2 plays in the huddle. The Maulers ready to go again, Jack.
And Walter Holman looked like he stopped at the line of scrimmage, did a good job of staying low, getting upfield, turning it upfield, and getting some extra yardage.
Roseanne's now barking out his cadence at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 2. They're not really worried about the first down here. He'd like to get some yardage downfield. Throws it over the middle. It's caught at the 50-yard line. And driven down immediately was the man who caught the ball, but they ruled it incomplete. Holman did not hang on, and so it stops the clock with 1:13 to play. I don't understand the purpose in a 2-yard pass with a defender right there.
I think first of all, Tom Roseanne was getting some pressure. He's just trying to get rid of the football and not take a sack. But give credit to Mills. Mills was the linebacker, and Walter Holman maybe heard some footsteps that time. Dropped the football, which he should have had for the first down. Now it's 3rd down and 2.
And the Maulers have converted 40% today, which is certainly above their average, 4 out of 10. They'd like to make it 5 out of 11. 3rd down and 2. 1 setback as Anderson goes in motion, and Roseanne's back to pass. Fakes the short one, throws it downfield. It's over the head of the intended receiver. It was intended for Jackie Flowers to the 35-yard line, and Roseanne simply threw it too tall. And so the clock stops again at 1:08. And the Maulers are down to their last play, Jack.
And Jackie Flowers was open down there right around the 38-yard line. If Tom Roseanne delivered a football to him, he would have had the first down. Now we've got to make sure we get the first down. 4th down and 2. And this is the big play of the game.
The announcers for today's game were chosen by Sheridan Broadcasting, subject to the approval of the Civic Arena Corporation and the Pittsburgh Maulers. It has come down to this for Pittsburgh. 4th down and 2 at their own 48-yard line. Now they got to worry about the first down. Rosance, an out pattern, first down, and they stop the clock at the 39 of Philadelphia. And again, it was Jackie Flowers who's run that play pattern 3 straight plays, and this time he came up with a catch.
And I don't think Philadelphia was sure what they were going to do on 4th down. He thought maybe they're going to run the football. Tom Rosance delivers the ball right to Jackie Flowers, runs the out pattern right in front of the defensive back, and Jonathan Sutton had no chance but other than to push him out of bounds.
39 yards and 1:03 to win the football game. It boils down to that. Here they come with a blitz. Rosance throws the ball downfield, and it's caught at the 10-yard line to the 5. Greg Anderson. Oh, my. And the Maulers with 1 timeout left at the 55. I don't believe it. 55-second mark. 33 yards on the pass from Rosance to Anderson. Did my voice crack or what?
And I'll tell you, Greg Anderson makes an excellent catch. The coverage was right on him, maybe a yard behind him, and Greg Anderson makes the catch. All-out blitz by Philadelphia. Tom Rosance reads it and delivers the football right on the money, and we got a chance to win the biggest football game of the history of the Maulers.
And the clock continues to run. The Maulers did not spend a timeout, and they have lost about 10 seconds here. We're down to 45 seconds. Anderson had to come off the field, and now the timeout is called by Rosance. Well, the confusion that reigned supreme when Philadelphia had a 3rd down is worked again when the Maulers got down deep in Philadelphia territory, and they just couldn't decide what they wanted to do.
And Sam, we have a problem right now with 43 seconds left to go in a football game. We have no timeouts left. The clock will not stop because you cannot get a first down anymore. It's either going to be a touchdown, and you can't waste plays by throwing the ball out of bounds, not here down on the 6-yard line. I'm sure the Philadelphia Stars are going to come after Tom Rosance right here. They're going to try to put pressure on him. What I would like to see him do is roll out to his right and try to look for the receiver down into the end zone. If not, maybe tuck it away and run it himself.
Do you think the Maulers will risk a run? Because they can't stop the clock again.
No, I don't think they're going to risk a run. What they're going to do is put 2 wide receivers to one side of the field. Maybe try to run the play, a pick play we ran last week for a touchdown to William Miller. 2 wide receivers to the same side of the field, run them into the end zone and try to pick off the linebacker and get William Miller open for a touchdown.
Rosance to this point 15 of 22 for 208 yards. And if you've seen a 14 of 23, 229, so they've been comparable tonight. And again, our great thanks to our crew here in Philadelphia. Tim Pearson, our statistician. Don DeBlasio, our spotter. Game was produced and directed as usual by J.C. Floyd, our traffic manager Michelle Jackson, Chief of Engineering Randy Dietrich, and our production director Tony Martin. The Maulers now with the greatest opportunity to make a mark in their first year of existence. They are 6 yards away from a victory and actually 6 yards and a conversion away from a win over the best team in the league. And they've got ample time. They can throw it in the end zone 4 times. Rosance back to pass on first down. Pumps, delivers a ball, and it's over the head of the intended receiver. Jackie Flowers at the goal line. I think he got a hand on it.
And Tom Rosance delivered that football with a lot of velocity. He rifled that football and delivered it right before Jackie Flowers made his turn. They're double covering Jackie Flowers inside and out. They got Mike Lush inside and the cornerback outside, and that time with good coverage by Philadelphia. And 2nd down. This is 2nd down and goal at the 6-yard line.
Despite the injury, or at least he appeared to be hurt on the great catch by Anderson to get him to the 6-yard line, he is back in the ball game. He hobbled off and he came right back on again. Durden is split wide to the left and Anderson in the slot to the left. And Flowers to the right. And here's Rosance fading back, throws it, and it is caught by Durden at the 4. He fumbles the ball. The flag is down and Philadelphia's got the ball. But a penalty marker is down, and so is Johnny Durden. And we'll just have to hold it right here and sort out this mess. Philadelphia came up with the ball, but a flag is down. And the penalty is apparently against the Maulers.
Sam, if they call offensive pass interference, which is the first time they have called that in the USFL this year, I think they call offensive pass interference, and I'm not sure who it is against. And
Durden is still stretched out at the 5-yard line. We have the opportunity to see it again on replay. Rosance delivered the ball. Durden was down. He had slipped. He caught the ball, had it knocked loose. Philadelphia recovered, and I don't see the infraction anywhere.
Sam, wait for the official's call.
Philadelphia is apparently going to win this football game. Jack, you better get down to the locker room, buddy. The fumble was recovered by Pete Kugler at about the 10-yard line. And all Philadelphia has to do now is just flop on the ball a time or two. 31 seconds left, and Fusina just kneels down. And I don't believe they have to run another play. What an unbelievable finish to this football game. Johnny Durden caught the ball at the 4-yard line. He fumbled the ball. Philadelphia recovered. The penalty marker was called against Pittsburgh for offensive pass interference, apparently. But it was a moot point because Philadelphia had recovered the fumble. And this football game, ladies and gentlemen, is over. And the Maulers have put on, even in defeat, their most gallant effort of the 1984 season. The final score, the Philadelphia Stars 23, the Pittsburgh Maulers 17. Tony Giordano will begin with our post-game activities right after this commercial break.
Gary Player for Sheraton Lakeview.
Every athlete should take the challenge of Lakeview.
Through October 14th, enjoy Sheraton Lakeview's in-season golf package. For $57.50 Sunday through Thursday and $67.50 Friday through Saturday, you'll get deluxe accommodations, green fees, carts, $5 breakfast, and $10 dinner coupons, plus 50% off on second-day green fees.
Experience Sheraton Lakeview Resort and Conference Center in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Price is based on per person, per day, double occupancy.
You can see it, you can feel it. At Speedy, you're a somebody.
At Speedy Muffler King, we'll give you 25% off the list price of every fully guaranteed muffler we install. That's 25% off big cars, 25% off small cars, even 25% off foreign cars. So come to Speedy and get 25% off.
At Speedy, you're a somebody.
Check your yellow pages for a Speedy Muffler King near you.
Introducing the smooth, clean taste of the mountains. It's that time of day when you can say, come on and head for the mountains. You know the best is coming your way. The best is coming your way because now you can enjoy the taste of Busch beer right here. A premium quality beer made by Anheuser-Busch. Busch is brewed just one way, the natural way, for a taste as smooth as its name. Busch. Head for the mountains. Head for the mountains. So come on now, don't just reach for any beer. Head for the only beer brewed to go down smooth as a mountain stream. Busch. Head for Busch beer. Head for Busch. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Pittsburgh, you're terrific. You've got something more. Boys Park Trails and Southside Rails are something more. And you've got a soft drink like you never had before. Rambling root beer, something more. So luscious, so mellow. Yeah, rambling root beer, something more. A weekend lark in Mellon Park is something more. A Monongahela paddle wheeler, something more. And you've got the richest, smoothest treat you'll ever pour. Rambling root beer, something more. The Maulers when you know you're into something more. And rambling root beer, something more. So creamy, so foamy, so hearty, so zesty, yeah. Rambling root beer, something more.
Ramblin' Root Beer, as always, caffeine-free.
Rambling root beer, something more.
A product of Cameron Coca-Cola.
Today's game was brought to you by Frank B. Fuhrer Holdings Incorporated, including Tector, Tri-State Mechanical Services, and Frank B. Fuhrer Wholesale Distributor. By Foodland, where you save the most on the brands you want. By Cameron Coca-Cola, bottlers of Ramblin' Root Beer. By your Pittsburgh area Dodge dealers. And by Burger King, where the burgers are flame broiled. Aren't you hungry for Burger King now?
Maulers Wrap-Up is brought to you by your participating Greater Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers, lifetime service guarantee. Hello again, everybody. I'm Tony Giordano with you on the Wrap-Up Show. The Pittsburgh Maulers, gallant effort tonight, but losing to the Philadelphia Stars 23-17. And we'll recap the second half action for you. The 56-yard field goal by Eric Schubert, which ended the first half, must have inspired the Maulers. On the second half opening kick, Maulers' special team pinned the Stars at their own 12. Philly couldn't move it and punted to the Maulers, and Pittsburgh got excellent field position at the Stars' 46. Maulers could not move too, but Larry Swider nailed a punt out of bounds at the Stars' 10. So once again, Philadelphia had terrible field position at its own 10. The Maulers defense stopped the Stars again on 3 plays. Sean Landetta hit a 50-yard punt. Mark Harper called for a fair catch. He made it, and he was hit by one of the Stars. That mistake, roughing the fair catch, was called. Was 15 yards, and the Maulers added to the Maulers' cause. So the Pittsburgh Maulers had the ball again inside the Philadelphia territory at the Stars' 47. Maulers picked up a first down on the ground. Then a personal foul penalty against the Stars moved the ball to the 21. Rozier gained 2 on first down, but Ira Albright was called for holding on the next play. However, that penalty did not stop the Maulers.
Donnie Hickman stood up and pointed something out to Tom Rosance in the defense immediately. So the veterans trying to help out the young quarterback, Rosance. They all come on the blitz. Rosance gets outside the pressure. Looking downfield. Throws the ball down the field. It is tipped away. Touchdown! Jackie Flowers. What a great catch. I thought somebody had gotten a hand on it. The defender was Jonathan Sutton, but Flowers put that ball away so quickly it disappeared from my eyes.
That 29-yard touchdown pass from Rosance to Flowers and the extra point from Schubert gave the Maulers a 17-12 lead over the Stars. Maulers looked as though they would up their lead the next time they had the ball. Pittsburgh began a drive from its own 17 late in the third period. But there were 4 key plays on the drive, and all 4 occurred on third down. On 3rd and 5 from the Pittsburgh 22, Walter Holman got the first down. 3rd and 5 from the 34, William Miller caught a 6-yard pass from Rosance for a first down. And on 3rd down from the Philadelphia 45, Rosance hit Anderson for 15 yards. Things were going the Maulers' way. But on 3rd and 12 from the Philly 32, Rosance was sacked, and that knocked the Maulers out of field goal range. Philadelphia came right back to narrow the Mauler lead to 2 when Dave Trout kicked a 31-yard field goal. That made the score 17-15 Maulers. The Stars got a 25-yard run by West Virginia's David Riley on that drive. After the Stars stopped the Maulers on their next possession, Swider was forced to punt from the Maulers' 18.
Garcia Lane at his 40-yard line awaiting his punt from Larry Swider. Swider at his 5. And they're looking like they're coming for the block here. Good snap. They pull back. And Swider with a good spiral. Lane at the 40. Misses 2 tacklers. He's in the midfield at the 45, the 40, 35, to the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, and he's out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Garcia Lane.
51-yard punt return from Garcia Lane. On 3rd down from the 5, the Stars scored the go-ahead touchdown.
Here's a quick count. Fusina trying to get a free play, throws it in the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. To Willie Collier.
Well, Philly went for 2 and converted, and so the Maulers led 23, or rather the Stars led the Maulers 23-17, and that how it turns out is the final margin of victory for the Philadelphia Stars. The Maulers had a chance to get things going, almost pull out a dramatic victory, a come-from-behind win. The Maulers got things started on their last drive. After Pittsburgh fumbled, Jackie Flowers fumbled the ball at the Maulers' 30, but Philadelphia could not score. Trout missed a 31-yard field goal. Pittsburgh back in business at its own 26. A roughing the passer penalty against Philadelphia tacked on 15 yards. That moved to the Pittsburgh Mauler 41. Holman gained 8 yards. On 4th down from the 49, Rosance hit Flowers for 12 yards. Then from the 39-yard line on 1st down, Rosance hit Anderson for 33 yards, and that moved it down to the 6-yard line. Pittsburgh had a chance to win it. First pass went incomplete, and then Rosance hit Johnny Durden. He fumbled the ball at the 4-yard line, and the Philadelphia Stars fell on top of it, and so the Philadelphia Stars beat the Pittsburgh Maulers 23-17. And our halftime show will continue right after this.
It's here at your participating Greater Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers, announcing the lifetime service guarantee. It means you can have your vehicle fixed and have the work guaranteed for life by the repairing dealer. Sound great? Here's how it works. If you ever need to have your Ford, Mercury, Lincoln, or Ford Light truck fixed, you pay once, and they'll guarantee the work for as long as you own it. If the covered part ever has to be fixed again, they'll fix it free. Free parts, free labor. It covers thousands of parts and lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Naturally, this limited warranty covers vehicles in normal use and excludes routine maintenance parts, belts, hoses, sheet metal, and upholstery. There's never been a car repair guarantee like it before. The lifetime service guarantee. Nothing else covers so much for so long.
Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers are now licensed to handle Pennsylvania State Emission Control Inspection. See Airport Lincoln Mercury and Target Ford. They fix cars for keeps.
Before we go to Jack Ham in the Pittsburgh Mauler locker room, we'll give you this time right now, and we'll fill in a little bit for you at some sports news, latest sports news from around the area. First of all, the Buccos, led by Darryl Strawberry's 3-hit, 3 RBI night. New York Mets down the Pirates 4-2. Strawberry opened the game by ripping his 6th home run of the season. It was a 2-run shot in the first inning. It was the first homer for Strawberry since April 28th. Strawberry added an RBI single in the 3rd. Win went to the starter, Ron Darling. Jesse Orozco, the 3rd New York pitcher of the night, tossed 2 innings of scoreless ball and picking up his 9th save. The loss to Pirates starter, Don Robinson. Pirates have reactivated Brian Harper. He's coming off a broken foot. And to make room for Harper, the Bucs sent Joe Orsulak to Hawaii. Pittsburgh Penguins named Bob Berry as their head coach this afternoon. He's the club's 3rd head coach in as many years. Berry was fired by the Montreal Canadiens in February. His NHL coaching record is 223 wins, 165 losses, and 75 ties. He was with the LA Kings for 3 seasons, and the Kings made the playoffs each year. Berry replaces Lou Angotti, who will become the Pens' director of pro scouting. Major League Baseball on the scoreboard, final from Los Angeles, Cincinnati beating Los Angeles 3-1. In the American League, Baltimore beat Milwaukee 6-0. Mike Boddicker, a 4-hitter, he's now 7-4. The Birds had 5 runs in the 2nd inning, back-to-back homers by Cal Ripken and Eddie Murray. Oakland beat Cleveland 7-3. Seattle over Kansas City 7-1. The Yankees beat Boston 8-3. Atlanta Braves will probably be without 3rd baseman Bob Horner for the rest of the season. Horner broke his right wrist diving for a ball in the game last Tuesday. He was played Wednesday, but he missed a 5-game weekend series. X-rays this morning revealed the break. It's virtually in the same place where Horner broke the same wrist last August. Minnesota Twins placed outfielder Jim Eisenreich on the voluntary retirement list. The 3-year veteran has had recurring problems with a nervous disorder. And the Yankees reactivated pitcher Shane Raleigh and sent pitcher Curtis Brown to the minors. The Mets made Sean Abner the #1 pick in baseball's amateur draft. Abner's an outfielder for Mechanicsburg High School here in Pennsylvania. Abner, who signed a letter of intent to play football at Georgia, said he was thrilled to be picked by the Mets. And Arnold Palmer failed to qualify for the U.S. Open today. He'll miss the Open for the first time since 1952. Palmer shares the record of 31 consecutive appearances in the tournament with Gene Sarazen. Well, Edmonton Oilers center Wayne Gretzky has won the Hart Trophy, symbolic of the NHL's most valuable player, for an unprecedented 5th straight year. Gretzky, who led the Oilers to their first Stanley Cup this season, received 60 of the 62 first-place votes from the Professional Hockey Writers Association. Washington Capitals defenseman Rod Langway won the Norris Trophy as the top defenseman. Langway was runner-up in the MVP voting. Tom Barrasso of the Buffalo Sabres garnered 2 awards, winning the Vezina Trophy as the league's best goaltender and the Calder Trophy as the Rookie of the Year. Other winners included Mike Bossy of the Islanders, who earned the Lady Byng Trophy as the most gentlemanly player, Doug Jarvis of the Capitals as the best defensive forward, and Brian Murray of Washington. He was named Coach of the Year. And our wrap-up show will continue after this.
It's here at your participating Greater Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers, announcing the lifetime service guarantee. It means you can have your vehicle fixed and have the work guaranteed for life. You need to have your Ford, Mercury, Lincoln, or Ford Light truck fixed. You pay once, and they'll guarantee the work for as long as you own it. If the covered part ever has to be fixed again, they'll fix it free. Free parts, free labor. It covers thousands of parts and lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Naturally, this limited warranty covers vehicles in normal use and excludes routine maintenance parts, belts, hoses, sheet metal, and upholstery. There's never been a car repair guarantee like it before. The lifetime service guarantee. Nothing else covers so much for so long.
Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers are now licensed to handle Pennsylvania State Emission Control Inspection. See Airport Lincoln Mercury and Target Ford. They fix cars for keeps.
Once again, the Pittsburgh Maulers played an excellent ball game tonight. Almost pulled it out against the Philadelphia Stars, but the Stars did win it 23-17 over the Maulers. Philadelphia now 14-1 in the USFL. Pittsburgh Maulers go to 3-12. And stick around, Jack Ham and the Locker Room Show is coming up. But first, let me remind you, the Maulers wrap-up was brought to you by your participating Greater Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers' lifetime service guarantee. Jack Ham and the Locker Room Show coming up in just a minute.
Welcome to a world that knows no bounds. A world where records are created and destroyed at the very limits of physical challenge. A world that pits muscle against muscle, mind against mind, in a competition that demands one elusive goal: triumph. Welcome to the world of the athlete, the modern hero, the victors and the vanquished, the men and women of sport who strive for perfection. Welcome to Sportsline 106, the first in-depth frequency-modulated sports show in the country, right here on FM 106. It's hot, it's controversial, and it promises to take you into the core of sports, the very mind and body of the athlete. Sam Nover in Sportsline 106, weeknights at 6:30. Tune in for the action. Call in for the challenge. Nover knows sports, and so will you. So when you just can't cope any longer, Sam Nover and Sportsline 106.
It's politics from a people point of view when Bill Moyers talks with newsman Richard Strout about his 40 years on the White House beat on a walk through the 20th century. Then a TV reporter finds herself right in the middle of a murder. Can you spot the culprit? Don't miss Quiet as a Nun on Mystery Thursday. And the one and only Ray Charles makes his special kind of music in a performance you won't want to miss on Austin City Limits Saturday night. It happens all this week and only on your community television station, WQED 13. So discover a new kind of television tonight. Discover WQED 13.
Now it's time for Jack Ham's Locker Room Report, brought to you by Scorecard Harry's, Pittsburgh's first true sports bar and restaurant.
This is Jack Ham in the Mauler locker room after their 23-17 defeat to the Philadelphia Stars. And my first guest is not an offensive or defensive player, but a special team, is Eric Schubert. And Eric, the big kick you made at the end of the first half, the 56-yard field goal, that tied the longest this season, and it was 1 yard short of the USFL record. Going in, do you think you had a good shot of making it?
I was hitting up 57 in practice, and I really didn't know how long it was, so I just, we ran out, was hurry up field goal, and we just ran out there, and I just got back 7 yards and just put it through.
What was it prior to the 56-yarder? What was your longest in college?
48 was my longest. Well, I had a 55 in the spring game, but when I was playing at Pitt, it was 48.
You tell me about, before we got on the air, you've been kicking a lot longer in practice. What are you capable of kicking, and what do you feel that you're confidence in kicking out there?
Realistically, I could probably hit from around 60. In practice, it's a lot different than going from a line and, snapping a hold. Practice, you can just go out and let it all hang out and just, boot the ball. But, I'd say 57 to 60.
During the week, you don't practice with the kicking team. Don't you just practice by yourself? Because I was really amazed at we were able to get on the kicking team with no timeouts left, with 3 seconds left to go and a half. I was amazed the coaches were able to get everybody out on the field, get reported, and get it off.
We go over that. We a couple times in practice, we have a hurry-up field goal team to make sure we're ready for when a game time situation, if it ever happens. And we practiced it 3 times. We even practiced it yesterday in practice. So I guess everything worked out fine.
Just a few minutes before we went on the air, George Hiddleston came over and congratulated you on a good game. Last week you had some problems. It was just the first time out. We had some problems with coordination between the holder, Larry Sweater, and yourself, or what was the problem last week?
It was basically me rushing. Larry's a great holder, one of the best I've ever had, and I was going too fast, and when I go too fast, I lose concentration, or I pick my head up, and all week I just really concentrated on keeping my head down and following through, and that's the key to the whole game.
Is it like a golfer's swing? I mean, you got to keep your head down, not look at the uprights, and just concentrate on the football?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. You know, you follow through, you spot on the ball, you know, you got to come up through the ball, hit the ball right, you know, and everything just, you know, worked out.
On the sidelines, most times when I played, kickers are usually all by themselves and not even involved with the offense and defense. I mean, that game was an excellent football game, very close. Were you on the sidelines cheering, or were you just concentrating on what you might have to do?
I do both. You know, I cheer on the sidelines, and then I'm off by myself, you know, kicking into the net and just concentrating on what I have to do. But I'm usually into the game, you know, trying to, you know what's going on. I'm not usually by myself, but, you know, there's times when you have to, like third down, you know, you come up to a field goal, you get off by yourself and just concentrate on what you have to do.
It seemed like everything got put together for you today, not only the long field goal, but also the kickoffs that were deep down to the goal line, high kicks that gave our special teams an opportunity to cover them.
Yeah, everything's coming out, you know, well now that I'm hitting the ball, and, you know, I just hope I can keep getting better and better and better.
The injury you got before the Fiesta Bowl last year, how's the knee and how does it feel right now?
Oh, it feels great. You know, I still have it in my head a little. I think about it, and I really shouldn't, but, you know, it doesn't hurt. The leg still has to get some more strength into it, but I'm hitting the ball well, and, you know, that's all that matters right now.
I mean, just it's really a psychological thing for you. You got to feel it's okay.
Yeah. You know, it's mostly just in the back of your mind because you remember, you know, the pain when you had it and it hurt. And so it's just, you know, you leave it out of your mind, it's all right.
How frustrating is it? I know that for the whole football team, all these guys are banged up. You don't have too many bruises on you, but how frustrating is it for you today to lose this football game like this?
Oh, it's very frustrating. You know, I thought we could come out of here with a win. You know, I was hoping we'd score and I'd kick the winning extra point and, you know, go back to Pittsburgh on the plane happy. And right now everyone's very down and, you know, just looking forward to the next game.
Well, congratulations on an outstanding game, a great kick, and good luck next week against San Antonio.
Thank you very much.
I'll be back after a short break with my second guest, Ike Griffin.
All right, Ike.
I should have known that your idea of a Saturday night out would be a couple of drafts at the bar and some old football game.
Now, come on, honey. There's only 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and the Maulers need a field goal to tie. When the game ends, we'll order dinner.
Now, that's rich. Dinner on a bar stool. Let's see. I wonder if they have salted peanuts parmesan.
Not here, honey. This is Scorecard Harry's upstairs. In a few minutes, we'll go downstairs. The new dinner menu downstairs is a different story.
I bet. They probably serve dinner on a pool table.
You think so, huh? Look at this menu.
Wow, it's fun food.
See?
Dinner's in a basket. Look, chicken, shrimp, fish, hot hoagies, wingdings, nachos, fried vegetables, dips, and check out these salads.
And look at the beverages. Pitchers of beer for $4.75 and pitchers of mixed drinks just $7.95.
And we won't hear the football game, right?
You can hear Bill McLean at the piano, plays everything from Billy Joel to Neil Diamond. Oh, they made the field goal. Tie game.
Is it over finally?
Well, the fourth quarter's over, but now they go into overtime.
What?
Scorecard Harry's located in the Bank Center. Same great lunches, but an exciting new fun food dinner menu.
This is Jack Ham back in the Mauler locker room after the 23-17 defeat to the Philadelphia Stars. My second guest is Ike Griffin, and Ike, seemed like your defensive line just in that second half, especially the third quarter, really came off the ball and really put a lot of pressure on Fusina.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say, Jack, is we came out that third quarter and we kind of got them in the hole where they had to come out and pass. Now that gives a defensive line the opportunity to tee off, really lay your ears back and get after. That's the main thing that got us going. We were able to get some pressure inside on Fusina, and that helped everything else out.
Did you feel that without Sam Clancy, you weren't sure how much he was going to be